I'm looking at my screen, I see bright sunshine there at the oval. It's tough. You've got the cap flat over your eyes.
I know.
You should have your dark glasses on. Well, it's beautiful.
I know, it's coming right over the pavilion, and it's the winter. Yeah. It's quite low, so it's pretty tricky in this box, but we're coping.
You are. Now this is key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's need to start this session well, which they have done. The first two sessions today, they got the Night Watchman out almost immediately. They got Chandimal almost immediately. My word, they'd love to get Matthews almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, you'd like to think that this is the last. 10 and 11. I don't think are going to cause too many problems. So this is the last of the recognised batsmen. One more partnership to go for England, and they've stuck to their task. It's never easy in the subcontinent to prize people out, is it?
No.
And they've sort of stuck to their guns, and take nothing away from Sri Lanka. They have improved from that first innings, which wouldn't have been difficult, to be fair. 1,000%. But England sort of homing in now, you feel.
Yes. We've got to be so careful, I think, with talking about the spinners, haven't we? With the amount of cricket that they've had.
Yes.
Jack Leach in particular.
Yes.
What a rotten year he's had.
Yes.
And then suddenly, he's pressed into service. Oh, come on, Jack, can't bowl him out. It's turning.
Yeah.
So there you are. There's the ball, and off you go. And it's just nothing like.
Yeah.
You can bowl for weeks in the nets.
Yeah. It's not
and it's
the
just
same.
Nothing like the same as this, and against batsmen who are brought up to play his type of bowling.
Yes, and it's a feel for a spinner, really. I mean, I know you seamers and everything, you need rhythm and what have you, but you can sort of, get away with it a bit more by just sort of like, hitting the crease hard and following through. As a spin bowler, you need that sort of, you need to get it in your bones a bit. I can remember John Embry saying that you never really started bowling well till you'd bowled about 250 overs, or 300 overs, and you got into that groove. So it is slightly different. The old fingers just get that, and the turn of the wrist and the pivot and everything. It all just takes a bit of time to get sort of like timing right.
Yeah. Well, this will, I suppose, build everyone up for the second test. That starts on Friday, by the way, for people who I'm sure are setting their calendars and their alarm clocks for early starts then. But that is the second test match. It's played on the same ground. The pitch looks to me to be, if you're looking from the fort, about 3 strips along to the right. There's one that's being cut out there. I reckon if Sri Lanka do lose this match, that might be an absolute
minefield.
Could be a minefield, that one, because this is doing a lot. But I must admit, I've seen pitches that Gaul do more.
Yeah.
Leach is going to continue anyway, and they've got Matthews and Hazaranga, the wrist spinner.
Well, John Best looking for a 10 for John.
I know. Yeah. He's one of those who's got a good knack for taking early wickets.
Yes. And it stays with you a bit. I know a few boys like that.
Yeah. Hazaranga's taking.
Afraid I wasn't one of them.
No, taking guard. How's Matthews going to play? I wonder if he's going to try and be a bit more expansive.
Well, I think that Hazaranga can hang around for him, so I don't think he's going to do too much while Hazaranga's there. I think the next two he might have a bit of a dart.
Yeah. We'll see. Everyone's ready. Mr. Palagaruja says, come on, let's play. Now, this is the final session of the 4th day. Still with a lot of overs to go. But Leach around the wicket, moves in, bowls, and Hazaranga's forward, pushing into the offside. Heard some shouting there. He's sent back into his ground by Matthews. Bairstow coming in quickly from extra cover.
Looking at Hazaranga's strike rate, he looks like he wants to get on with it. I think he's striking at about 90 on, isn't he?
He's quite a white ball cricketer, actually, isn't he?
Yeah.
302 for 7. Gazing round now, bearded. Leach moves in, bowls to him. Oh, he didn't know how to go. Well, and again, uncertainty about the running. But actually, Matthews, to be fair to, was just plodding on. But Hazaranga was very uncertain as to whether or not they were going to take a run for that. But they certainly did. He goes to 4. 303 for 7.
I'd like to see a gully. That's for sure, especially when Hazaranga's batting, just sort of like coming forward. He's not looking particularly to play it off the back foot, and there is just a bit of bounce there as well. I think it's probably more likely to go to gully than sitting point.
Lead 17. Butler crouches at the stumps. Leach makes his way in and bowls. Big cloud of dust again there as Matthews comes forward. They have at least got some men round the bat for Matthews now, almost tempting him perhaps to say, go on then, let's see you open your shoulders a bit and take a chance. 2 men catching in the offside. Leach bowls to him. Oh, another one that absolutely explodes.
Wow.
Well, that's unplayable. There's no one in the world or the history of the game who could have got a bat on this, I don't think.
No. But
round the wicket, a nice little tweak. It's pitched round about middle. It's just absolutely taken off. Spat and spun.
That's like, do you remember Roadrunner and the wolf that used to chase him, and he used to sort of push down on that thing and the old TNT.
That's right. Here's Matthews again finding an edge for another one that puts a cloud of dust. And we've won through Gully, as you were saying. Tough as a single. 304 for 7. I've got to I think those plungers were somebody with Acme, weren't they? Everything was Acme on those cartoons. Acme detonator.
Yes, that's right. Used to wire them up and then.
That's the one.
Yeah, they used that.
Could always miss.
Go. Yeah.
And most of the rocks had fallen on him, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Happy days. 304 for 7. The lead 18. Hazaranga on strike. Leach moves in, bowls to him and get a lot of spin, but that's a little short and wide. So nothing required for Hazaranga, who paws at the ground with his boot and says over to you, to his senior partner, Angelo Matthews.
And you can just see with both spinners after lunch on this fourth day, you can just see both of them a little bit more flow and fluidity in the action. As you're saying, that pace that went just past the outside edge there a couple of times of Angelo Matthews, it was just the right pace, right snap, right length, and it just all then sort of, and a bit of dip as well, and that's what you've got to feel for. See, and it takes a bit of time as a spin bowler, I'm afraid, just to get it in your bones.
Rhythm again, isn't it? We always talk about rhythm with quick bowlers, but it's the same with the spinners too. Everything just becomes a natural process. Not thinking about how you're bowling necessarily. It just happens.
I found you never want to think too hard when you're bowling.
Well, you can overthink, can't you?
Oh, without a doubt.
And actually, in circumstances and conditions like this, you certainly can. I think you sort of keep it absolutely basic. Now we've got Bess continuing, floating this up. Matthews wants a single. He'll get it as well. It's pushed into the offside. And so one more run. The lead goes to 19.
Surprised we've missed that rain.
Somewhere's getting very wet.
Yeah, it is.
Somewhere up on that new road, I think, between Colombo and Gaul that goes down just to the east side of the town, which is deserted. Because the locals won't refuse to pay the toll, which is only something ridiculous, like about 12p or something. In goes Bess. Bowles tossing it up. Oh, no, there's an appeal there. As that comes flying away into the offside. There's Hazaranga. Little ambitious, and Matthews having quite a word with him.
I'm going to have to take my scarf off.
Great, good. It's snowing there yesterday.
I know.
Pass again, Bowles. That's nicely played by Hazaranga, getting a big stride in, playing with the bat rather than with the pad.
And did warn me. He warned me early on that about this time it's going to be a bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky seeing the screen, actually.
It was always quite difficult because you get it at the end of the day too, don't you, in the summer? 305 for 7. It goes Bess, Bowles, and Hazaranga gives him a little bit of room there, stepping towards the leg side, but ends up playing the turning ball into the onside. There's no run. 305 for 7. Swings his arms, or rotates it backwards as he starts to come in, moves in once more. Bowles short on the back foot, very nicely put away by Hazaranga. Is there a man covering that boundary? Can't see him yet. Nope, no one's made it. Well, that's a fine shot. And no one back on that boundary. So if you drop short, that little bit of room outside the off stump, you're rather asking for trouble. That's a quality shot.
It is. Nice and compact, nicely balanced, rocked forward and then saw the length and just eased back and didn't try and overhit it, just timed it beautifully for extra cover.
Absolutely did. Bess again spins himself. Some catches. Sri Lanka lead by 23. Before you know it, those runs creep up, don't they? And they've run the singles very well today. Just nibbled away. It started at minus 130. Bess floats this up. Hazaranga drives. A bit of bottom hand in this. Comes down to long off, and there's no one there either.
Oh,
so
no.
Absolutely found the gap. I was expecting Stuart Broad to pop into view there and throw the ball back.
That's the trouble with the telly, isn't it?
It is. So where are these fielders then? They've got no deep point and no long off. Where are they all?
You expect someone to come round and field that.
Yeah, it's funny. People say, "Oh, you should do it off the telly all the time." And so, well, there's an example. We've had a few examples today, actually. A catch that you couldn't tell that was out, watching it off the telly. And there's two boundaries. We're expecting a fielder suddenly to appear, and I'm afraid they're nowhere to be seen.
Well, they must have had a very wide sort of mid-off then. It's almost like an extra cover and a point man on the offside.
7-2 field, something. There's a lot on the leg side.
Yeah. All that was just an orthodox off drive.
Yeah. No, I thought Broad would just bend down and pick it up, throw it back every one run, but very nicely played.
Yeah.
3:13 for 7. Hazaranga's 12. Matthews has 53. You get a familiar view over the ocean. Again, no clouds in the distance. The lead 27 now. Leach moves in, bowls short, and Matthews can go back and club that away. There is a fielder out there for him. Tosses it back again. It's Dom Sibley out there. So we've got Hazaranga on strike. Can Leach find one here that's going to spit and find the glove on the outside edge? Looking to replay that lovely shot from Hazaranga. It's even better actually with no one there. He absolutely picked the gap. In goes Leach, pulls the right-handed Hazaranga, who is caught. Is he brilliantly caught by a Root? He is. What a good catch. Turned, Hazaranga went to drive it, and that's the second good catch that Root has taken today. Completely different to the first, which was low and to his right. That was high and to his left. Terrific catch.
Yeah, brilliant catch and a lovely bit of bowling there.
That's the length.
Yeah, then that was the length. Drew him forward just outside the off stump, and that one did turn and bite, and a big healthy edge. Josh Butler's gone for it, but Joe Root's a great catch.
Brilliant catch.
Yeah, it is a brilliant catch. That's reactions, because it went quickly, because it was a really good firm off drive at it, and a big healthy edge, and Jack Leach looks delighted. He's bowled a lot better. You can just see it coming back into the spinner's armoury now. The old body's just starting to get through it and get some good pace and dip and bounce. That was a good delivery by Jack Leach and beautifully caught by Joe Root at slip.
Yeah, excellent cricket there. Just tossed it up, and as we know, Hazaranga likes to play his shots. But
tossed it up with a bit of pace on it though, John. You know, it wasn't just a floaty. You know, they've been a little bit floaty when they've been full, the spinners, and then they've tried to put some pace on it, and they've dragged short. But that one had everything. It just had good up and down dip at pace, and lovely bit of bowling. You've got to drag people forward in the subcontinent, and that's what he's done beautifully there. Great catch.
Well, both spinners have taken 3 wickets now.
Yeah, good.
So that'll be good for their confidence.
Very much so.
Going ahead, Sam Curran's draping an arm around Jack Leach's shoulder. He's got a smile on his face as Jack.
Yeah, good boy.
He's just someone that everyone wills on. He's just one of those fantastic characters.
Yeah, and he's just doing it there. He's talking there to Sam Curran, and he's getting his bowling arm and sort of thrusting it down in that kind of get that dip and purchase on the ball. He knows what he's finding. He knows what he's looking for, and he was happy with that.
Yeah. So Dilruwan Pereira will have made his way out. He's an experienced man. He's been around the block a few times. Let's be honest. 42 tests, average is 18, but he has got 650s to his name, the best of 95.
Yeah.
So I wonder when Matthews starts to think, I'm going to try and find that boundary a bit here. Yeah, he's such a clean hitter. But mind you, if the balls were spin as we've seen increasingly today,
I'd like a gully. Yeah. See, this is where I think Joe needs to just think a bit. You've got he's number 10. You've seen it turn and bounce. You need a gully.
Here's Leach bowling, and the new batsman's edged it. Has Root caught him again? Was it sponsor out of the rough? He has. Another brilliant catch. It's like an action replay. Exactly the same. And I don't know what Pereira was doing there really to his first ball, apart from his eyes lighting up. Or
it's a replay.
It was a replay. It was a replay. Oh God! I'm sorry. Why didn't someone tell me? Oh dear. It goes Leach and bowls, and that's dropped, I think, in the gully. Oh God! There's only so many 3 o'clocks a man can take. I said it looked like a replay, and it was. Oh God, you lie down. Here's Leach, and was this dropped? I think it was low down in the gully. Well, that'll entertain some people anyway. Now that's turned away. This is definitely live.
Yes.
Played out to mid on. I think I should give Tino the job. He'd do a better job.
Oh no, John! I'll tell you, that was difficult. That was He's played exactly the same shot as his mate.
Shot. Exactly the same catch. Oh well, let's keep going. You've got your gully toughers anyway, but he dropped
Yes,
it.
exactly, he did. It just squirted off, but it just didn't quite... Was it a drop, or did it just
Oh, well,
didn't
imagine
quite
it quite
carry?
carry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the delight of my colleagues' faces on Zoom. You're a cruel lot. Here's
Yeah.
Leach again, and
Oh,
I
there.
didn't commentate on that one. It spat past the outside edge and was taken by Butler. 3:15 for 8 with a ball to go in the 13th over. Oh, it did turn again, didn't it? Really did spin. So, any thoughts that Matthews might have him going for a big hit?
Yeah, good luck hitting that.
3:15 for 8, the ball to go in this over. Matthews on 54, in goes Leach and Bolston, and this time Matthews lets it go by. So Pereira will be on strike. It's 315 for 8, and it's my torture over yet. Well, 10 past, there's still 10 minutes. Anything could happen in these 10 minutes.
Because you started at 4 o'clock this morning, mate. I think you've done well.
Why don't they put replay up on the screen? Why don't they say this is an action replay? That's all they need to do. Oh well, 3:15 for 8. Pereira's on 1. Matthews 54. And the sky at least looks clear over Gaul at the moment. Another of these pretty drone shots that we can get. Leach taking the last couple of wickets. 3:15 for 8. Bess swings that right arm, rotates it in reverse really, then moves in, bowls. Pereira solidly and defiantly forward, as I said before. They don't like getting out their opposite numbers.
Oh no.
So off spinner to off spinner.
No, you try and take him for a few runs and make sure you don't give him a wicket.
You certainly want to get out to him. 3:15 for 8. Bess strides in. He's there and he bowls. He comes down the pitch and has a big heave. He's got it away into the leg side. He's going to get runs here. He's going to get 4 of them. It was a bit chancy, especially with Matthews at the other end. But you say he likes to they like to take each other out, don't they?
Yeah, they do indeed. Good use of the feet, actually. Got to it, came down, and good swing of the bat. And there's a man out there at deep long on, or sort of 3/4. Just managed to get it a little bit square of him. Good shot. England won't mind seeing that, though, as you say. If the number 10's having a little charge down.
3:19 for 8. In goes Bess over the wicket. Is there? Bowls, spins into the pad. Bounces harmlessly away into the leg side. 1 or 2 quizzical looks there from the wicketkeeper and slippers, wondering whether they actually played a shot at that or not. But no serious appeal for leg before wicket. 3:19 for 8. Pereira. 1-5. Waits. Bess bowls into the corner just between those 2 short leg fieldsmen. Away for a single. One of our kindly producers has sent a note saying, look out for the ticker at the bottom. Which I think means that if it's not there, it's a replay. So thanks for the 4 days of not telling me that. Anyway, we'll learn from now on.
Was that a shot?
Well, I don't know. That was a replay of the one that was padded away. 3:20 for 8, and now a reverse sweep. Hit hard too. That's really well played by Matthews. You might see a little bit more of this improvisation. That's 4 runs to that deep point boundary. Lead 38. It's got there quickly. It was 16 at tee. Very well played. Against the spin. Taking a bit of a chance of top edge. Up it goes into the air. There's no one back there.
He's got all the shots, hasn't he?
He has.
Matthews. Good one-day player, good white ball cricketer as well.
His tempting route of Best to put a man back now to create another gap, of course. But to protect the boundary, 3:24 for 8. In goes Bess again. Bowls. On the back foot goes Matthews. Playing into the offside defensively. He wanted a single there. That was the last ball of the over, but couldn't quite do it. 3:24 for 8. The lead is 38. Matthews has 58. Pereira has 6. I've got some cruel friends.
Are they on the...
Well, the phone's just going. It's just
ringing off the hook.
Full of messages. Thanks, everybody. Oh, dear.
Happens to the best.
I think it happens off the telly. All it does do, it does hopefully demonstrate that you need to be at the ground. You need to commentate on a game, but I suspect any game. You need to be there to be able to watch it and feel it and soak it up. I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, we're not allowed at the ground, we're not allowed in the country, so that's why we're giving this a go. 3:24 for 8. So Sri Lanka 38 runs ahead. This is the evening session of the 4th day, so still all day tomorrow. There's Leach. 2 slips, moves in bowls, and there's a swing across the line again, an ambitious shot. No one out there in the deep, and it's 4 more.
Yeah, I think these two have decided that they're going to play a few shots, don't they?
Yeah, that's probably right too, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, a lead of 40 is nothing, not here nor there.
No, you've got to get runs.
Yeah, but getting up towards 80 or 100, and
yeah.
suddenly, oh, okay,
Yeah.
they need to be scored.
Yeah, runs are the key now. And you obviously no mug with the bat.
No.
Had a couple of nice shots.
Gets the close fielders away as well, of course. Leach spins himself, catches from hand to hand, grips the seam. In he goes now, looking purposefully. Bowls this time. Pereira leans forward and plays defensively. There is a slip, but
Gully's gone.
he's gone. Yeah, short leg's gone.
It only takes 1 shot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
1 or 2 shots.
It's a tight game. 3:28 for 8. There's Leach bowling to him. Oh, look at that go.
Whoa, whoa. Joss Butler has taken that above head height.
Yeah, it's just gone, isn't it? Reared up.
Wow.
Oh, you think that? I mean, a lead of 100. You see balls like that.
Yeah. There was a couple
early couple of wickets.
Yeah, the old jitters.
Yeah. 3:28 for 8. In goes Leach again and bowls. He plays that nicely, dabbing the ball late, but Root's able to get a hand to it. So no run. 3:28 for 8. 2 balls to go in the over.
Yeah, they've just managed to take wickets at the right time, England, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just about. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be chasing. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be chasing anything over 100.
Leach on his way again. Bowls to Pereira, working into the leg side, being able to man there. Saving the single. The helmet is redundant. It's lying behind Joss Butler at the moment.
Big shot coming here.
You see it coming?
Yeah, I just feel it.
Last ball of the over.
Yeah.
3:28 for 8. Let's see, is the old spinner's instinct still there? Leach bowls to him. He plays no shot at all.
Well, that was a wide long off. He was looking tensed. He was looking that he fancied it.
There we go. 3:28 for 8. It was wide. 42 is the lead. So a good session. They have lost that wicket, but they've rattled along at 5 and over.
Yeah.
So that's been very much in Root's mind. There's only Fernando to come. So he's bringing up the rear. He didn't look much of a player, if I'm honest, in the first innings. So this is probably the last serious contribution that Sri Lanka could make, unless of course Matthews goes berserk with the number 11 at the other end, which can happen. So he's played a really good innings here for a natural stroke player. Oh, didn't like that very much.
Oh, the light meter.
Light meter came out.
Put that away, I hear, from the back of the
I don't know if
box.
it's just been delivered to him, so he's popping it in his pocket, or whether umpire Dharmasena was actually employing it. But it's a big red thing that's popped into his pocket. Matthews on strike. Bess on his way in over the wicket, tosses this up. Matthews drives. Bess scrambles across the crease there, dives and makes sure they can't take a run.
One of those places, Aggers, isn't it, in Gaul, where as you walk off, you know that you've had a day in the field, and don't you? You're covered, aren't you?
Yeah.
Covered in sort of grubbiness.
Yeah.
All the
Dust.
Yeah.
And goes Bess. Bowls to Matthews, working it around the corner, sent back by his partner. I think probably wisely too, because there wasn't really a single there. Matthews 58, the lead 42, bit of gardening from Matthews. A little bit more of this since they took the lead.
Yeah, funny that. Just knocking the edges off.
It certainly is. Perfectly legal, unless the umpire feels it is deliberately damaging the pitch, of course.
You're allowed to.
Goes Best, bowls to him. Down the pitch, oh, misstumping. Misstumping. And there'll be byes here. It's the first mistake that Butler's made, but I'm not going to throw too much blame at him to see how it bounced. It might have kept very low, but he was well out of his ground, playing an attacking shot.
It's almost like he's
yorked
him.
Chance for Matthews. spun, it's gone straight through his legs.
Did keep a bit low.
Yeah.
Spun, kept a bit low. And what also then is very, very difficult for the keeper there is that Matthews has played over the top of it. He's almost yorked himself, so you really don't get a clear sight of the ball. So, I mean, he'll look back and say it has half a chance, but tough one to cling on to that.
Will have to go down as a chance. He was out of his ground. Bess again, bowls, and it turns in, and Matthews flicks it to mid-wicket. That's a shame, because he's had an excellent game behind the stump so far.
Yeah, very good.
Taking some very difficult balls. And that one, it's turned. You've got Matthews in the way. All sorts of things there that you could say, but inevitably, what's our next shot? The camera's closing off then. And there's a sweep from Matthews, scattering the crows, taking off in all directions. They don't deter Sam Curran from seeing the ball or picking it up and throwing it back, however. And the lead goes to 47. Well, double that. I'm not saying it's impossible to get, but we've seen what's happening. Much it's spinning.
Hasn't got a stumping in his Test career, Joss Butler.
No, that point being made on the graphics as well. In goes Bess. Bowls. Determinedly played by Pereira to end that over. Well, 333 for 8. I think a strong cup of coffee required. Matthews 59, Pereira has 10. I'll hand to an old, experienced hand of commentating off the telly, who I'm sure has fallen for that trap more than once before.
Sorry, Aggers, what was that? What did you name?
Dan Norcross. Is it Dan time?
Yes, what did you need? No, a strong cup of coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that okay?
No worries, yeah, no, actually, I just thought you said it twice, though, that's all.
Thank you, Tufford. Yes.
I may not return.
Oh, come on.
Jonathan, don't feel bad. I have done that about, I don't know, innumerable times.
Yes.
Innumerable times. And they don't help us. It happens, I'm afraid. Most famously happened to me at Adelaide.
Right.
It wasn't actually me, it was a colleague of mine who got it the other way round. I'll explain in a moment. 333 for 8, Matthews on strike. Leach in, and he's beaten on the outside edge. That ball spits and turns.
Turn and boots.
Remember when Australia were 2 for 3?
Yes.
At Adelaide, and the third wicket went down in almost identical fashion to the second one. Got so used to the idea of being done by replays, didn't bother commentating the third wicket. Thought it was a replay,
like a reverse.
Yeah, yeah, the exact opposite of what Aggers has done, but equally. Looks and Leach bowls, cut away nicely by Matthews, but I don't think he'll mind that because it'll bring Pereira onto strike. Now, Andy Zaltzman, I want you to raise with our listeners, because I'm all for giving us all the fear, the spectre of Angelo Matthews batting with Herath Rangana Herath, another man with Headingley. That partnership. How big was it? What was the match situation at the time? Full toss from Leach is appealed for by Root because he thinks it's hit the boot of Pereira. It's run away to the boundary for 4. And now umpire Paliagurige is given 4 runs, which is interesting. He has not waited for the DRS timer here, so he's indicated that he thinks that Pereira got bat on that, and England have decided not to use their, what would be, I think, last review. See the replay? He did get a lot of bat on it, the bottom of his bat, and he guided it past Root at slip down to the boundary for 4. Leach bowling a sort of attempted Yorker there. The lead up to 52, 338 for 8. Another very full ball, just worked into the onside by Pereira. He's been a brilliant foil for Matthews since T when Nindu Hazaranga was out. Straight out, right at the beginning of the session. Caught spectacularly by a Root at slip off Leach. 25 runs now these two have put on, Pereira and Matthews, in just 26 balls. The lead 53. I think I can see you've got a thumb up there, and it's hard for me to see because I'm afraid the sun is shining. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in South London, as it so often is. Forward comes Matthews, defends into the offside. There's no run. But it means I'm struggling to see anything really. Not even you in your shed.
Yes, I've got the scorecard from the Headingley Test 2014 that you were talking about, that we discussed earlier on today. Extraordinary by Matthews.
Leach in, defended crabbily by Matthews. Angle back, route retrieves, moving to his right from slip. End of the over, 127 overs have been bowled. Sri Lanka 339 for 8. Matthews 60, Pereira 15, the lead 53. It's tense. So tell us the details, Andy.
England had a first innings lead of 108, and Sri Lanka batted pretty well, got up to 172 for 2 and then 268 for 4, then lost 3 quick wickets, and Herath came in at 277 for 7, so Sri Lanka at that point were 168 ahead, I think I'm right in saying, and the partnership was 149.
Ouch.
In about 35 overs. Herath 48 off 82. Aranga made a quick 20. Matthews finished 160 from 249 balls with a 6 and 25 fours, giving Sri Lanka a lead of 349, and England were bowled out for 249. Moeen Ali making a century in his second test, and Jimmy Anderson being up to the penultimate ball, scheduled ball of the game.
Great.
There we go. There's a portent for all you listening at home.
Cheery little chap you are.
Yeah, there's a way to go. Yeah.
They were in a better position then.
Now, I like this move.
Yes.
Mark Wood is coming into the attack to try to blast out the tail end of Dilruwan Pereira. Wicketless so far in this match. It's time for Tuffers to take a well-earned break. And for Ebony to join us from her living room. Hello, Ebony.
Hello. Sri Lanka have dug in, right? Good
They
lead.
really have.
Really have. I mean, let's be honest, I'm not a betting person, but how many people would have bet on them getting this far? I think we all thought it might have been wrapped up yesterday. Matthews, Rahmani, they have given them a chance.
Wood in, starts a new over. Well, Pereira's just played the most beautiful on drive. Straight back past Wood. It's going to run away to the boundary for 4. That was a glorious shot. It's a little over pitched from Wood, but he's aiming for those stumps. That's partly what he's on for, to try to beat the tail ender for pace. He's got it right up there. Pereira's played the most glorious shot. Bit of bottom hand to direct it through mid-on, up to the boundary for 4. The lead 57.
A few shots to come out, Dan, and a bit of pace on might help.
Yes, it might. I mean, the ball's 47 overs old, but what have we got? 3 in the ring on the offside, gully, slip, short leg, man in front of square on the onside, mid-on, and I think a long leg. Leaving us alone is Pereira outside the off-stump, shouldering arms. He's 19 off 17, and he's batting pretty comfortably out there at the moment. He's a little skittish to start with, but he's finding his feet, and with Matthews at the other end, he knows that we talk about anything over 100 being difficult, they won't feel that's enough, but 140, 150, that's way off yet, of course, but I'll believe as long as Matthews is there. Pereira on strike. Wood coming into him, and he cuts at this beautifully into the offside, but a good diving stop by Dom Best to his right prevents the run. Pereira's just looking every inch a batsman here, isn't he?
Looking very good, and like you say, with the field, they're predominantly being a ring field as well. He will know he gets the ball through. There's a couple, maybe not necessarily a 4 because it's a slow outfield, but he's got a good rate at the moment. Ball is coming on. This is the sort of day that I think you make your name as well as a lower order batter. It's always interesting giving the captain a dilemma if you say, get me up 1. Just scored you a nice 50 in a tough situation.
Well, he's had 3 50s before at Galt, at the best of 92, unbeaten 92. An unbeaten 92 here would put the cap very firmly amongst the pigeons, all the egrets. As Wood is in, full, defended solidly by Pereira, back up the wicket, fielded off his own bowling by Wood. No run, 86 miles an hour. It's interesting to keep an eye out on Mark Wood's speeds. His first ball was just a tick under 90, then 87, then 90 again, then 86.
We'll see if he brings out those cutters as well. We saw in the last spell. Dropped it down to 130 Ks. You can do the conversion for me, Dan.
130 is 81 miles an hour.
Yeah, so his slower balls dropped down with 10 miles an hour.
61 a little bit. Wood in, full, and the bat turns in his hand this time as he digs out one around about an off stump and turns it up to mid-on. But straight to the field and no run. One ball left in Wood's over. He happy to give him a single here, perhaps. But he's got right in behind every ball. He's not backed away. He's not been at all shy of Wood's pace in this over. And the contrast between Sri Lanka's first innings, England have picked up a couple of quick wickets, back-to-back wickets, but you know, the second and third wickets fell. Last one, the end of yesterday, the first one early today, and that was the night watchman out first, down the leg side, taken by Butler low at his ankles. End of the over, 343 for 8. Matthews 60, Pereira 19, a maiden over from Wood. Then, so we had a first wicket partnership of 101, second of 54, the fourth of 52, the fifth of 33, then 48. The sixth and seventh wickets fell close together, and indeed the eighth, 291 for 6, 296 for 7, 314 for 8, but now 29 runs have come in this partnership. That last over wasn't a maiden, of course, because Pereira struck the first ball for 4, which I momentarily forgot. But haven't had a maiden now for an hour and a half.
So what do you think, Dan? What will get England's Hetchy? Say
120.
120. And what do you think will they be really nervous? 150.
150. Especially if ball spits and bounce for Embaldenia. A couple of early wickets. Leach tosses the ball. Well, rolls the ball really. One hand to the other. And he's in around the wicket. The right-handed Matthews, who comes fully forward, pushes the ball back up the wicket to the bowler, bends down, and collects it. The rain so far has stayed away. At the beginning of the day, Sri Lanka 156 for 2, so they've added 187 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in 67 overs. It's been good, tough cricket. Forward comes Matthews, pushes into the offside, nearly stumbles over himself. Lawrence collects. Lawrence, who had turned his arm over earlier today, got a couple of balls to beat the bat. England have used 7 bowlers in this innings. Roots had a couple of twirls. Broad's had many a spell. Leach in full. Matthews defends this square of the wicket on the offside. There's no run. Runs away. There's only the one slip in for Matthews. Might England be tempted just to bring that field in a bit tighter and encourage Matthews to go over the top, Ebony? Leach in, round the wicket to the right-hander. He digs one out that was very full, almost Yorker length, up to Broad, who's back on the field at mid-on, no run.
Yeah, it's a difficult call, isn't it? I think you're right. If you tempt him, give him that opportunity. You mostly want to do it him going against the spin. Keep up mid-on, maybe.
Leach in again, pushed off the back foot, diving half stop. I think of a run, it's not them. Lawrence collects, throws at stumps at the non-striker's end, but Pereira was home.
Well, I think you have to give credit to Matthews, though. He has, to be honest, he hasn't blitzed it in terms of playing any outrageous shots. He's often just got deep and played with the spin or put away the bad ball.
Last ball of Leach is over, and he keeps Matthews on strike with a full ball. Matthews just pushes the ball back up the wicket. Means that Pereira will have to face the first ball of the next over. That is the batter that England want to bowl at, although we did negotiate previous over from Wood very comfortably. 343 for 8. The lead 57.
Yeah, I was just saying with Matthews, he hasn't really. I think his innings has been, pretty good. To be fair, he's been patient. He's put away, particularly we saw, them dropping short early on, and he got quite deep and pumping it through that sort of extra cover or in front of point region. So we haven't seen him play any of those sort of wild or hacking shots, and I just wonder, even if you bring in the couple of tempters, will he go for it? He might still just milk the gaps at the angles at the moment. I think one more loss of a wicket and he'll go kamikaze, but for now he's still playing nicely and composed.
Helmet is being brought out, so I wonder what we're going to see here. Short leg for Shaw. He's going to be lined up. You'd think Wood is going to be bowling to Pereira. There is no short leg to Pereira, who gets right in behind this length ball, pushes it into the offside. No run. It's quite a non-attacking field for Wood. Is Wood here just going to be attacking the stumps? That's his line of attack. There isn't a short leg in. There's a ring field in the offside. Only one slip. It seems to be the plan. 343 for 8. Pereira 19 from 22. This is Wood's 18th over. Curran's only bowled 11 overs, picked up a couple of wickets, but tends to be used in and around the new ball and then jettisoned for the rest of the innings as a general rule. Broad is wearing multiple hats, shades on the hat, and Wood comes charging in. There's a gully in as well, and Pereira's beaten on the inside edge by rapid delivery. 89 miles an hour, probably ticking up to 90. That was 144 kilometres an hour.
Nice delivery.
That's done him, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Movement back in, limited foot movement as well, so a little bit of a wild waft. That one bounced a little bit more than we've seen for a while as well.
Could so easily have taken a bit of glove or inside edge, rattled back onto the stumps or back to Butler, but it didn't. Pereira maybe a little late on the shot, probably saved him there, as his feet stayed stuck in the crease and hands and bat sort of dangled ineffectually towards the ball. Wood, who's not looking as gruntled as he might at the moment, tossing the ball up in the air, back to himself. Roots making a field adjustment. Wait to see where. Now then.
All right, let's have a look at this field. So is he going short? Is he going to rough him up?
Yes, I think so. Well, if he's not, it's an interesting field position, isn't it? We've now got a deep backward square leg.
Yeah.
A square leg. I think a short leg is coming in. A deep mid. Do you know what this reminds me of? Not that I was alive at the time, before you make any comment. But this is very much like the Douglas Jardine clap to Harold, didn't say, which meant body line. Field adjusts. Everybody knows where to go. And Pereira, do you bluff here?
He's got his chest guard on, which is good news.
Do you bluff and go full? Is it going to be the bouncer? Wood in. No, first ball is the bouncer. Ill-directed though, wide. And Pereira is able just to turn his head away, let it go by.
I was also wondering if he was going to think about coming round as well and make that an awkward into the body, but
then have your leg gully sort of thing,
yeah,
or leg slip even.
That rib tickler. But either way, set up to try and cause some problems here.
Thank you very much. Phil Tufnell's just given me his hat to help me keep the sun from my eyes. It's piercing where we are commentating from in the TMS box. Wood in. Short again, but this time ill-directed down the leg side, and Pereira is able to duck beneath it. It's taken around about thigh height.
To give credit to Wood, don't you? He's charged in every single spell, even though there's not much in it in the wicket. It's slow off the surface. He's still been prepared to do his job.
Well, the third ball of this over was clocked at 148 kilometres an hour, which is 92 and a half, which is impressive speed. It's exactly 92 and a half, pretty much. Forward short leg, square leg, deep square leg, mid-wicket, long leg. Now he is going to come round the way. He's listened to you, Ebony.
He's heard it.
Well, Danny Rubin's listening to us, and I get the feeling that we're able to get messages out to the team via Danny in this way. We got Jack Leach back into the attack in the afternoon session. Wood in short, guided into the offside square of the wicket, picked up by the many-hatted Broad. He bends down, and there is no run. One ball left in the over.
I think it's a good move because he hasn't looked completely comfortable. He's kind of just ducked it, but also taken his eye off the line. I think coming around into the body, to get it right in, it's very hard unless you're very skillful to weave away and you can't turn your eye away. So, yeah, I just think it will be threatening for him.
So here comes Wood to complete his over, the 18th. Again, round the wicket, short, nasty. It goes past the shoulder, the left shoulder of the right-handed Pereira, through to Butler. That is the end of the over I think it's time for me to take a break from the piercing sunshine, Ebony. So I'm just looking to see. I've got a silhouetted figure of Simon Mann that I can see. Can't see whether he's wearing his scarf or not, but I think I've got the thumbs up. So I'm going to hand over to Simon via Andy Zaltzman, who has his microphone poised.
On Wood's speeds, he's averaging 141 kilometres an hour in this game. That's 87.7 miles an hour. It's the second fastest average speed by a bowler in a test in Sri Lanka where data is available. Mitchell Stark averaged 142.5 miles an hour in a test in 2016, a series in which he was prodigious for Australia in a losing cause. So Wood has bowled with impressive velocity. Simon.
Thanks, Andy. 29 overs left in the day's play. If we can get them all in, Sri Lanka are effectively 57 for 8. Pereira and Matthews holding them up again into the 131st over of the innings. It's been a great fight from Sri Lanka after their first innings efforts, dismal first innings efforts. Leach, he's still got a chance for a fifer here, 3 for 111. He's about to enter his 39th over, so he's had a good long bowl out there. And he's moving in now to bowl to Angelo Matthews, who gets a short ball which he clubs away into the offside towards deep cover. And there's one more run to the total. 344 for 8. Are you with me, Ebbs?
I am 100% here. I was just thinking that's the length that I've seen Matthews play that shot so often, just a fraction too short. Just gives him time to rock back and take a single or punch it for a couple. Just want to apply a little bit more pressure.
Pereira on 19. Experienced Test cricketer faces Leach and angles that away in defence to backward point, and there's no run. On Twitter, Sal Alban has said, Ebony, and I didn't hear this, he said, I live just up the road from Ebony's cricket ground.
Oh, in Rainford.
Oh, I see, right, oh, I see. A fine village club you should visit. I see, I get it now, because you were talking about names earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Here is Leach bowling down the leg side, swept away, down towards deep back with square legs, scatters the birds there, it's gone for 4. That's a good shot, not a great delivery from Leach, airing onto the pads of Pereira, but he put it away superbly. And Sri Lanka's lead goes to 62 with 2 wickets left.
Yeah, really nicely played. Read the length well, got down early, and then just helped it. Like you say, the line just drifting, so just had to help it around the corner, but good connection. How many overs in these spells, Andy? I'm just thinking whether Wood will keep going. Leach has bowled.
Here's Leach bowling to Pereira. Pereira drives nicely into the offside. Good diving save at short extra cover from Zach Crawley. I think prevents a single.
The 10th over. Sorry, Simon. It's the 10th over of Leach's spell. 4 before tea and 6 after tea. Wood spelled 2 in this spell.
348 for 8. Pereira waits for Leach, comes forward, plays it again to Crawley, this time quietly along the ground, and there's no run. Andy produced some stats earlier about Pereira's batting, saying that his success had come earlier in his career. His batting average in Test cricket was down to 14 in the last 3 years, but he's giving great assistance here to Matthews. Leach bowls, Pereira gets a ball that spins sharply and banks it, but it was wide of off stump, so he was able to pad up to it. He went through to Butler, who missed that stumping with Matthews on 58. 348 for 8. Matthews has got the big block on here, 61 from 196. What have he done in the last couple of hours, Andy? He's hardly scored, isn't it? Like 25 runs and 120 balls, something like that. Feels like it anyway.
Well, he was on 30 off 86 at lunch, so he scored 31 off 110 since then.
Well, he's showing great discipline for his side here. They have definitely recovered some of the ground that they lost in that first innings. And they're not done yet, although there's still so much time left in the game. It would need, if they get 100, say if they could get 140 ahead, 120, 140, something like that. Not impossible from here. They're 62 ahead at the moment. It would need something very special from these two, though. Now Wood is going to continue round the wicket, bowls to Matthews. Matthews hits this off his hip down towards deep backwards square leg. Curran is there, and Matthews very happy to take the single and put Pereira back on strike. Michael Vaughan was next to me, was saying he feels a bit sorry for Mark Wood in that, you know, he just bowled a really good ball to Pereira, and then he's asked by his captain just to bang it in short with the field back, to change the tactics really. So if he sort of, you know, there's that one dimension, you know, Wood's just got to run in and hurl it down into the pitch at the tail. You've got this leg trap for him. There's no slip. There's a short leg in, a gully, and then 2 men back. Wood goes in and bowls. Fuller this time. Pereira plays that very nicely into the offside, and Wood skips across to pick up, and there's no run.
Yeah, it's a difficult. I mean, clearly they've used him in this setup as just on this to try and use the extra pace and see if he can ruffle. You know, he's bowled some brilliant balls. Maybe he would like to, or more of a traditional line and length, but Root wants the short stuff. I think it's a good move to Pereira. He hasn't looked quite comfortable.
Let's see if it's going to work. The partnership worth 35. Wood goes in, bowls to Pereira, short of a length. Not as short as some of the balls in the previous over, and Pereira plays that pretty well, getting in behind it, showing plenty of courage, and pushing it into the onside. It trickles away. Wood in his 19th over in this second innings, still looking for his first wicket in the Test match. Bowled 6 overs in the first innings. So yeah, 24 and a half overs, wicketless so far. 349 for 8.
Hard graft for the seamers.
Broad has also been wicketless in this second innings. Curran's picked up 2. Wood bowls short, and that's nicely played off his hip by Pereira. Down towards deep back of square leg, and they're through for another single. I mean, ideally, you might like a leg slip, but of course they've got the 2 men back, and you can't have 3 behind square on the leg side, so you have to decide what you're going to do. And Pereira showed no inclination to hook. I wonder whether that leg slip is a better fielding position rather than the man at deep forward square leg. Deep backward square leg, I should say. They've got 3 men back.
Which means more for the fending it off.
Yeah. Because it's an instinctive reaction to play it off your hip. It's harder to control. Wood goes in now and bowls to Matthews, and Matthews nudges it off his hip as well. Down towards deep backward square legs. They've got 3 men out, so you could have 1 man just in front of square with a view to sprinting to his right as the ball, you know, obviously you have to wait for the shot to be played, but you know, be on duty to hair to your right hand side, make sure you stay in front of square when the ball is delivered, and you've got the fine leg fielder, and then have a leg gully for that one off the hip. We've seen Woods bowling round the wicket, and we've seen a few off the hip already in this over. 351 for 8.
I think there's a room for Broad. I'm just trying to look when he last bowled.
Here is Wood into bowl to Pereira. Pereira nudges this away, this time short of the short leg fielder, who's quite deep there on the leg side. Of course, it comes off the bat very quickly when Wood's bowling. That was 89 miles an hour, so Wood's pace is up, but the pitch is dead. He's trying to flog something from it. That's the end of the over. 132 overs now. England have been in the field.
Broad last bowled in the 101st over. Just looking at this long second innings, it's the longest second innings Sri Lanka have managed in a test since December 2014, when they batted 154 overs in Christchurch against New Zealand, and it's the second longest against England already since 2014, that test at Leeds that we were talking about, when Sri Lanka batted 132 overs. South Africa last winter 137.4 overs in the 4th innings in Cape Town before England finally sealed victory. So yeah, it's a superb effort from a team that has been struggling with the bat for some time.
Did you say 132 overs at Leeds? Only?
Yeah, so they're
They
about
made
to
400
overtake
odd, didn't they?
that. Yeah, 457 all out.
Yeah, so shows you how much they've restrained themselves in this innings. 351 for 8. Leach begins the 133rd over. Bowls outside the off stump. Matthews allows a wide spinning ball to go by.
I'm wondering how much, in hindsight now, that first innings was linked to how they played in South Africa on very different wickets. I wonder if they were pushing at it and feeling at it, but now they've started to adjust to the conditions.
Leach to Matthews. Matthews prods forward, defending. Picked up a short extra cover. And there is no run. Well, it could be. I mean, it's quite a Demana, England have actually been in the country longer than Sri Lanka.
Also, they haven't played at home in a long time, and once they start to readjust to their home conditions.
Matthews waits, Leach bowls, he goes onto the back foot, Matthews, and pushes it away for a single. Is that a sub-fielder on? Who's number 90 in this England party? Yeah, it is a sub-fielder. Just trying to work out who it is. Anyway, he's on the field at deep cover. 3:52 for 8. The lead is 66. There are 26 overs left in the day's play. Not quite moving into definitely need fifth day territory yet, but we're not getting too far away. Leach bowls, and Pereira comes forward and plays that defensively back up the off side of the pitch. If it was a situation of bang bang now, then definitely England could knock these off today. But another 40 or 50, that's Sri Lanka's immediate goal. Leach bowls a beauty, and there's an appeal for a catch. Not out, says the umpire. The bails are off as well. England have one review left. There was the appeal for the court behind. It was Peliguruga who said not out. Have they reviewed it? I think they might have reviewed
might
this.
have gone up straight
Difficult
away.
to tell.
There was a
bails
noise
are
of
off
some
as well.
sort.
You're checking the stumping, I think.
And yeah, the bells are off for the stumping possibly as well. So let's have a look at what we're going to get here. We can have a bob each way. Let's have a look at the stumping. Oh, is any of his foot behind the line? What was Hannibal going to say about that?
So left, right. Can you give me the opposite angle, please?
He wants the opposite angle. This could be out. I mean, I can't see any of his foot behind the line, but it's quite blurred, so he might give the benefit of the doubt to the batsman. His foot is on the line.
Yeah.
Butler removes the bails. He doesn't move his foot, and I was seeing it from the other way. Well, I think this could be out, you know.
Oh.
Okay.
I can't see anything behind the line.
I can't see anything behind. You're right. His toe is up.
Can you give me a stump cam? Stump cam?
Stump cam, I'm not sure it's going to help too much.
No, that backwards angle isn't ideal. I think that the side on.
Can we go back to the side on again, please?
To me, side on both sides. I can't see anything behind the line.
Yeah.
No, he's on the line.
Still waiting.
Batsman has got his boot on the line and trying to establish if there's anything over it.
Well, you heard it clearly there. I can't establish anything behind it, I have to say, from the pictures I've seen. They've got the microscope out now. They've blown it up. I would say this has to be given out personally, but Lyndon Hannibal's the third umpire.
He's taking his time looking. Look,
What do you think, Ebbs? Out or not out?
I would say out. I can't see anything behind that line, even zoomed in. It's pretty clear from this angle. Looks like the bails were taken before he rocked back.
The boot appears to be on the line. I don't see anything over it. Yeah. Next, I got a decision for the big screen. You can load out.
Right, there we go. He's going to give it out, and I think that is the correct decision. He had a long look at it, and Mickey Arthur shakes his head. The question I'd like to ask Mickey is which bit of the boot is behind the line? That's the question I'd like to ask him. He shakes his head. He's not happy with that decision. But Lyndon Hannibal's given the decision, and more shaking of the head from Mickey Arthur. It's 3:52 for 9, and Duran Pereira is on his way. Stumped Butler, bowled Leach for 24.
Yeah, well, it's a sprightly innings, and I think he'll be a little bit frustrated, but it's one of those ones where as you play the shot and you just start to try and get forward, that back leg can just creep, and if you're not aware, like you say, you're not quite behind the line. It was millimetres, but from that side-on angle, there was absolutely nothing behind it, clearly on the line. And a good nifty bit of work from Butler, just quick hands, simple things, and got rid of the stump. So he's going to have to go and I suppose for Sri Lanka, especially after how well they were going, and we were talking up the potential 120s, 140s, you feel without Pereira now and just one wicket, that England are going to try and narrow in and close out this game.
I've got a thought in the back of my mind. Is that Joss Butler's first Test match stumping?
It is indeed. It's his 28th Test as wicketkeeper, his 48th Test in all, and his first stumping. He's only missed, according to the Cricketers data I was checking earlier on, he missed that tricky one off Matthews. That was listed as his second missed stumping. He's not had many opportunities, but this is his first stumping.
Was there one in the summer at Pakistan? Against Pakistan, I can remember some incidents at Old Trafford where he had a difficult day. The match in which he won the game with Chris Wokes on the last day, I think there were a few misses. I can't remember if they were catches or stumpings. There might have been one of both, actually. Anyway, he's got his first Test match stumping. It took a while, and he was confident. He seemed to be appealing. I wonder if they were appealing initially for the catch, and then he waited a fraction of a second and realised the stumping was on as well. It wasn't one of those take it in the gloves, whip off the bails. He was almost holding the ball there for a moment, and then took off the bails. Here's Leach bowling to the last man, Sita Fernando, who has got a first-class average of 4. Shame for England in a way that they didn't have more of the over to bowl at him. Matthews will take strike for the next over. We'll have to wait and see now how Matthews is going to approach this. Right, thanks very much, Ebbs, for now. Michael Vaughan is alongside me at 3:52 for 9, and we're in that situation now where if a wicket falls now and the light holds, England have the chance to win the match tonight. There are still 26 overs remaining, as long as the light holds and the rain stays away, of course.
Yeah, and Matthews is going to have to do an incredible shepherding job on Fernando. He only averages 4 with the bat. I thought that was slightly unfortunate for the batter to be given out there. I believe there has to be 100% evidence. I'm not too sure that was 100%. When the decision out in the middle was not out, there has to be absolute proof that the foot was absolutely not over the line. I'm not too sure it was.
Well, that's an interesting one about the square leg umpire. You don't give a soft signal, do you? There's a square leg umpire. They all send it up these days, don't they?
Yeah, and rightfully so. But I do believe that it has to be conclusive evidence that the foot's not behind the line. I'm not too sure there was.
Here's Wood bowling to Matthews, who gives himself some room. Wood follows him and he knocks this around the leg side. Goes to Bess at square leg.
Well,
and there's no run. Well, I have to say, and Ebony said, I couldn't see anything. Well, I don't think I'm biased. I would say whatever it was, but I couldn't see anything behind the line.
Well, that's the interesting part. You don't see anything behind the line, and I was looking, going, I'm not too sure. Because it only has to be a millimetre of the boot behind the line. I'm not too sure. And Mickey Arthur, well, he's having another shake.
Get the cameras on Mickey Arthur for this decision.
Can't believe
if you're the producer of the programme. I think there's a permanent camera on Mickey, isn't there?
Well, there should be.
Mickey cam, yeah. Wood bowls to Matthews. Matthews pulls. It goes out towards the deep back of square leg area. Picks out the fielder, and there's no run. Matthews played a couple of. Well, that was a cracking shot from Matthews, but he's not running. He wants to protect Sita Fernando from Mark Wood. I'm not surprised as well, but there'll come a decision towards the end of the over. We came off last night at 11:42 for bad light, but it was a more overcast day yesterday. It's a little bit brighter today, albeit the clouds have built up. It was thick cloud all day yesterday. What is it now? It's coming up to 10 to 11. Wood bowls very wide of off stump, and Matthews went to the leg side, trying to hit him through the offside, and didn't play at it in the end.
Yeah, I think the good news is, Simon, I think we're going to be up early again in the morning. See some more good cricket. 4:15 to see England probably have to chase 30 or 40 by the time that comes. Maybe a little bit less than that. It might be that we only need 15 or 20 by then.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. They take their light reading, don't they? And say if England need 15 to win, the light meters say, "Oh, that's it." Presumably they have to walk off, do they?
That's when common sense should come in.
Wood bowls. Matthews gets a short ball, which he flat bats into the onside towards deep mid wicket. And this time, do they take the single? There was a lot of running going on out there. It was wonderfully over. Yes, they do take the single. So Fernando's got 2 balls of Wood's over to survive. And This is one of these situations slows the game up actually as well, doesn't it? Because you have a sort of phony war for the first 4 balls of the over at least. You just struggle to get the number 11 back on strike. So this will take some time out of the game. The lead is 67, so Sri Lanka 67 for 9 with time left tonight and all day tomorrow. The forecast tomorrow, there is sort of, some rain forecast tomorrow, but not one of those days where you think it's going to rain all day. You don't get many of those in Sri Lanka. It builds up, showers come and then they go, and often get an afternoon downpour. Fernando waits for Wood. Wood bowls very full. That was a good delivery from Wood and well played by Fernando. It was just what Wood wanted. It was an in-swinging Yorker. Fernando given himself a fraction of room and chopped down on it and played it into the onside. That's all his non-striking partner demanded of him, really, was to keep the ball out, and he did. Played it well. A good young eye there, 23 years of age. 353 for 9. Wood looking for his first wicket of the match. Can he wrap it up here? Just 20th over. Goes in now to bowl to Sita Fernando. The last ball of the over, it's another full ball, and again Fernando gives himself a bit of room, but using his eye manages to push a straight ball into the offside. There is no run, so we're in touch and go territory, I think, for finishing today. 353 for 9 is the score. Sri Lanka are 67 runs ahead. Of course, this would be very tense if it was the last day of the game, wouldn't it? Very tense indeed. Right, I think it's time for a change. It's time for our replay man, Jonathan Agnew.
Thank you, Simon, very much indeed.
Have you had a brew, Agus?
Actually, I'll tell you exactly what I've done. Yeah, I've had a strong coffee, had a walk outside, and the essential, at moments of complete crisis, a restorative Percy pig.
Oh, that's what you need.
A Percy pig. Only one, but a Percy pig. So we're revitalised. We're up there again. We're going to keep going.
Where you're very lucky is that there's nothing like social media where those kind of clips get replayed.
I wouldn't have thought anybody's having anything to say on there.
No. You're fine.
Well, these things happen. 353 for 9. The lead 67. Matthews on 65 now. How's he going to play here? That's the question. 4 for 117 for Leach. Those figures looking better than they did an hour or so ago. Matthews has got to go for it here. Fernando groping around at the other end. So you can see what field Root has. In goes Leach bowls. It's the reverse sweep. And he's got that away down towards deep third man. And it's gone for 4 runs. Perfectly played. Perfectly placed. And a very fine shot, and we've been saying all the way through that Matthews has this gear, of course, to go up.
Well, he got in his stance and he kind of he counted the fielders, didn't he? You saw him kind of just pointing at the fielders where they were, so he knows exactly where the angles are for him. It's tremendous power with the reverse sweep.
Fine shot, hitting it with the spin, of course. Leach again, bowls to him, now he's forward, that spins past the edge. Taken by Butler, lovely ball. The lead is 71. Time ticking away today. Of course, got no idea really what the light is like. I was going to mention extra half hours and that sort of thing under normal circumstances, grounds with floodlights and so on, but that's not the case in Gaul. In goes Leach again, tossing it up on the leg stump. Matthews dabs that away gently out to mid-wicket. 357 for 9. The lead 71. 3 balls left in the over. I think Matthews will want Fernando to face Mark Wood again if he can possibly avoid it. Boundary ball coming up maybe. Matthews 69. No, he simply defends this one. The men are back, but they'll have to come in probably now. I want to try and save the single, of course. It gives Matthews a chance to hit this one to the boundary and then try somehow and get a 1 or a 3. So what's Leach going to produce here? Matthews on 69. In he goes, bowls, and Matthews just gets that away, slides it away off the face of the bat and just ambles a single. There's a man set out there for the reverse sweep now, so he's leaving Fernando to face 1 ball from Jack Leach. They'll all come crowding in now. seam bowler who bowled very well actually. England's first innings. Not a tall man by any means.
Looking forward to this ball, I guess. Number 11, genuine number 11.
Right.
Spinning wicket.
Oh, he's only got a slip and a silly point.
Need a gully, come on, you need another second.
Oh, here we come. There's a gully coming in.
That's better.
Might as well crowd him because he's not going to take a single, is he? 3:58 for 9. Fernando on strike. Can Leach roll him over and finish this off? 3 men round the bat, plus the keeper. In goes Leach. Bowls to him. It does spin sharply, but he plays that well. Coming forward, playing with very soft hands. Ball crept away to gully. And there's no run, so 3:58 for 9. The lead 72. Matthews 70 not out. He exchanges a word there with Fernando. So the clouds, it looks really bright there still. I've said a few times the sun will be going down over the sea, so the cloud inland doesn't matter as far as the light is concerned. A huge storm went round the back. So this will be some more cricket, but whether it's enough to get everything in today. Well, you give you another opportunity to try another of your alternative breakfasts, Michael, tomorrow.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
The canteen will be open, but the problem is the game may have finished by the time the canteen's open, so I'm going to have to bring another pat lunch.
Oh no, lots for you to do. There'll be Radio 5 Live Breakfast, there'll be the Today programme on Radio 4, so no, don't worry, there'll be plenty to do.
Yeah, don't you worry, I'm looking forward to that.
Here's Wood then, charging in round the wicket. Bowls short, and that's flogged away into the leg side by Matthews, but finds Bess just in front of square in the leg side. Not got away with that.
Now, Andy, is that right, the stat that I've just seen on the telly, the lowest fourth innings totals at Gaul, and I've just seen South Africa were bowled out for 73 in 2018. Sri Lanka lead by 72.
That is true, because actually it was the test match, I think I'm right in saying, the test match before England played their test match at Gaul there on the last tour. So there's all this talk of horror stories of the pitch and so on being a total minefield, so I think that's right, yes. 3:58 for 9. The Crows are gathering. In goes Wood. Bowls bouncer down the leg side. Matthews tries again to pull it but misses. Buckler collects. It was a very rough pitch, that one, apparently, by all accounts. And of course England won their match at Gaul. Most unusual as the first test match of the series.
That South Africa was bowled out in 28.5 overs for 73, but they were chasing 352. So, wasn't quite the same pressure on the bowlers.
It's a bit of a hammering there, doesn't it? In goes Wood round the wicket. Bowls. Matthews this time does get hold of it. Well, he's got the chance of one to deep square leg. Not sure if he's taken it or not. I'm just watching Lawrence come in from deep mid wicket to throw it back. I suspect not, given that was only the third ball, but again, the perils of watching as we are. Matthews remaining on strike, so no run taken, 70 not out. Looks around the field again. Love to hit a boundary. No slips there now. Wood kicking up his heels, runs up, bowls another bouncer, and he's pulled that away to the same place, out to deep mid wicket. And the way Sibley's gathered that suggests that they have run this time. So Fernando down on strike, and there's going to be 2 balls left for Mark Wood to try and knock over the number 11, Asita Fernando. The lead 73. Time ticking away on this 4th day.
Just the top of the off-stump kind of delivery length I think is required here, Agus. It's desperate, isn't it, for a seam ball when you just get 2 deliveries. You kind of always gamble on the Yorker or maybe the first ball a bouncer just to rough him up.
Do you see any Novak Djokovic in Mark Wood these days?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's the beard, I think, and the spiky hair.
Yeah, he's had a bad trim, hasn't it? It's not quite the same length.
In he goes over the wicket, and he bowls, and Fernando backs away. Ball flies past the edge. And, Wood looks rather disgruntled there. He's one of those batsmen, Fernando, that you feel just pitch the ball up and just knock him over. But well, as we saw with the Indian tail end resistance in Brisbane, it's often quite hard when batsmen are scampering round the crease a bit.
Just on tennis, Aggers, I don't know if you've seen the controversy or what's happened in the Aussie Open with these planes that have been sent for the players to get them over to Australia and Melbourne. Yes. That they've had some cases, so they've had to quarantine the players for 14 days, and there's a number of them on social media that have used it. There's one chap, he's run 5 kilometres today in his room. Yeah, he's just run from wall to wall, and it's 5 kilometres.
Here's the last ball of the over. Wood goes in, bowls a Yorker, and he's managed to dig it out. Well played, Fernando. That's 2 of those he's survived, and albeit from a rather unorthodox location, somewhere outside the leg stump, but he's managed to jab his bat down. 3:59 for 9, the lead 73.
And there's another gentleman that's got the bed out of the way in the room and put the mattress against the wall, and he's smacking the tennis ball against the mattress, and it's kind of just bouncing back enough for him to whack it. He's having a rally with himself against the mattress. They're going to have to find a way for 2 weeks. They can't go out the room. They've got to stay fit.
It's a good effort.
Huge tournament.
5 kilometres around your room.
Yes.
My word.
Our old colleague Mike Dixon of the Mail, he used to do a lot of the cricket.
Yes,
he's the tennis correspondent.
Is he out there?
I'm not too sure if he's out there, but he's certainly tweeting quite a bit about it.
Well, sport trying to continue in these circumstances, as they are in Sri Lanka. It's great to see Moeen back in the fold again yesterday. What a miserable time he must have had. Crikey. Sitting in a room. He's not even in the same hotel as his teammates. He wasn't very well either, by all accounts. He wasn't seriously ill through coronavirus, but he still had more than a touch of it. But, at least he was back with his teammates yesterday, restored and back in the fold.
Well, that's going to be the question, isn't it? How's he going to be fit enough for Friday's start?
Oh, they've already basically ruled him out.
Yeah, so he'll have to basically get thrown in the deep end when he gets his chance again in India against the likes of Virat and co. It's not going to be easy, is it?
No. Drinks break going on, by the way, which is why we're just rabbiting away here a little. A nicely poised game. I mean, Sri Lanka, you'd feel haven't got enough at the moment, but 73 runs is still 73 runs, and if Matthews can, well, if he were to get to 100, he's 71 not out at the moment. Play some big shots. It's not a big ground, Gaul, either, so the big options are there. We saw Chris Gale score 300 there, didn't he?
Yeah, so, 333.
It was, wasn't it? So I can imagine the lowest. A number of those are flying out of the ground.
The lowest target ever successfully defended in Test cricket, 85, and you've got to go back to the Oval Test of 1882 for that one. Wow. Fred Snofforth ran through England, a game that launched the Ashes. Only one other total of under 100 has ever been successfully defended. One other target, that was West Indies, who bowled out Zimbabwe for 63 in 2000 in Trinidad, defending 99. At Gaul, there have been a couple of lowish chases that Sri Lanka have successfully bowled teams out. Relatively recently, they bowled India out for 112, defending 176 in 2015, and Pakistan for 117, defending 168 back in 2009. But they did have Rangana Herath in that side. It took 4 and 7 wickets in those 2 successful defences. They didn't have a bowler of his calibre or quite as many runs to defend.
Thanks very much. Yes, the Ashes Test, first ever. Burnt the bails, everything else. Laid the game to rest. So it's an incredible game of cricket. Now it's waiting for the players to finish their drinks here. England's bowling figure, certainly the spinners looking a little more credible now, and they're getting into the rhythm of playing again. Leach has now taken 4 for 122 from 41 overs. Don Best 3 for 100 from 33. Still those figures of Stuart Broad stand out there. 17 overs, 11 maidens, no wicket for 14. A couple of wickets for Curran, and Root has bowled 11 overs to Dan Lawrence's 2. So we're just waiting now for the players to finish their drinks, which they've done. A tap of the gloves there from Matthews to his number 11 partner. Matthews will be on strike. We'll see who's going to bowl at him. I don't think I'll be bowling the off-spinner at Matthews because of that possibility of him being able to hit with the spin into the leg side. So it is in fact going to be Leach who's continuing. 3:59 for 9. The lead is 73. Matthews on strike on 71. And Leach looking for this last wicket for a fifer, and that will set him up nicely for the winter too. In he goes and bowls to Matthews, short though, and he goes back. He could pick up an easy single there, but doesn't bother. 359 for 9.
Yeah, he'll just be trying to look for his boundary options. He's got that reverse sweep that we saw from the last over. I think if it's full enough, he might try and take on the lap slog.
So over his bat again. 71 not out. Leach is there, bowls to him, pitched around about the leg stump. A little bit short again. Matthews could go in onto the back foot, turn the ball away into the leg side. Again, no run. Usual assorted bird life all over the outfield there. The black crows, the white egrets, little pockets of them all over the place. Occasionally they mix. And Leach again bowls, brings Matthews forward. Nice line and length that. Matthews scrapes away a little bit of dust from the bottom of his bat.
It looks like they're mixing down at third man, Aggers.
Yeah, they do. They'll have a fight eventually though.
Yeah.
Which the crows usually win. They get on well for a while. Maybe sort of bugs and things come out at this time of day. 359 for 9. And Matthews forward again. He's not trying any big shots in this over so far. And now Root is trotting up the pitch to have a word with Leach. It's 2 balls to go in the over.
I wonder if just say to him, just come over the wicket for 2 deliveries. Fire it down fire it down the leg side and just make it really difficult for Angelo Matthews to get the single.
Yeah, that would make sense. Certainly, they're having a long conversation, pointing out to the leg side boundary at the moment. If you're batting in this situation, are you thinking boundary with the field up, or are you thinking single with the field up to try and bat a bit longer and get down the other end?
Well, I think I'd just play, because if he bowls a bad ball, you're going to hit it for 4, and there's an easy one on the offside. They've got that cover point on the boundary
They
again.
have. That's surely where he's coming round the wicket. You would think he could just knock it into that big gap there. Here he comes, and he's just given a catch to slip. Trying to play exactly that shot. Has pushed the ball away for a single. Leach has got his 5th wicket. And England will need 74 to go 1-0 up in this series. They bowl Sri Lanka out for 359. Root takes another catch. Well plays Angelo Matthews. He was there just looking to run into that gap in the offside, as we mentioned. The ball turned. A comfortable catch for Joe Root this time. And so England know what they have to do. 74 to win. Looking at that ball, it spun a long way, didn't it? Wow, it really did. And a nice one pouched there by Root. And so both spinners have got 5 wicket hauls in this match, and that at least will do their confidence good. And if England go on to win the game from here, which they should do, then that at least will feel the spinners think they've really set up this win for England. So 71 to Angelo Matthews. A good effort, that, certainly. 62 from Pereira, of course, 111 from Tiramani. Lots of contributions. Chandimal 20, Dikwala 29, and Dewuran Pereira making 24. But Jack Leach is leading his players off, and that's nice, because not so long ago he only had a wicket and he looked a bit under pressure and so on, but he's got, having played so little cricket. And I remember interviewing him during the last match of last year. Do you remember when he's in his room downstairs? He hadn't been out, hadn't played any cricket. It was just, I think was it the anniversary of the heading of the game or something like that? I just felt so sorry for him. But here we go. Cricket, all sport could do this for you, can't it?
Yeah.
Not so long later, you're leading your team off and you've got Pfeiffer.
Yeah, great. One of the real popular members of the team, which is rightfully say. He's just had such a tough time of it since Headingley, really. You haven't really seen much of Jack Leach, but he's bowled nicely. He got better and better. It's an old adage: the more you bowl, the more rhythm you find, the more feel you get for the pitch in terms of the pace of it, where to bowl. And in this innings, they have got better and better. The England spin twins, Dominic Best with 3 for 8 in the match for Dominic, and obviously a 5 wickets for 122 for Jack Leach, and some good wickets as well. He got them out in the right way, a stumping. Obviously caught slips, always a good way of a left arm spinner getting batters out. You're bowling it with a nice amount of pace, and he got some good players out. So it's really good from England. 74. You can't think that. Well, there shouldn't be, but you might think that Sri Lanka might get a couple.
Well, I know a man who hopes that they might do. Russell Arnold. Good evening. What do you reckon?
Agnes.
What do you reckon?
Oh, you just have to back England here, isn't it? Because it is a waiting game. We've been talking about it a lot and seeing a lot of things happen on this pitch, but it's still not a pitch that you're going to blast an opposition out. Unless, of course, England get nervy and they bring out some reckless shots and be reckless in defence. I think they'll be able to manage this score pretty well. I think the experience is there, and the understanding of what's required on pitches like this has also gotten better with the England team as the game has gone on. So I think they get over it, but I'm not sure whether they'll be able to do it today. So far, it's gloomy. We'll have play, but I don't think we'll have enough time for them to get the 74. I'll be surprised if we get all that in today.
Yeah, as we know, it's down to the umpires these days, isn't it? It's not a question of also being able to appeal against the light or anything like that. So they tend to go off at more or less the same time if they can do it, which was around about 10 to 4, was it? I don't know what time's out here, but 10 to the hour anyway, 10 to 5 there. So that's, 40 or so minutes away. Do you think you'll get that in?
I think it's almost up to 4:45 in the evening already. It looks like we might have at least half an hour play just looking around. It's gotten a lot brighter than around tea time, so there will be some play. They have a reading from yesterday. That's the reading that they will compare it to and come off. But England will have to come out there for a few minutes. Sri Lanka will open with spin. I don't think we'll see the pace on, so you will have you'll go a little deeper than expected.
Yes. Just a word about England spinners. Last time we spoke, I mean, they were struggling a bit, weren't they? And we talked about the lack of cricket that everyone's had and everything else. But Dom Bess has come back with 3 and of course 5 for Jack Leach. Did they look more rhythmical to you in that last session?
Yes, what they were trying to do was a lot better. They were trying to get the batsman to hit down the ground, which is exactly what you must do, and the loose balls also went out of the game. So that was also a learning curve, Agnes, because when you come out here, you'll tell the spin have to play the big part. The expectations are such, but you still have to bowl. You can't put it there. In the subcontinent, it's good spinners who get wickets, not just the part-timers. Part-timers just play a role only. So you understand that you have to bowl lots of overs and you have to work your way through, and that's exactly what England did as the game went on. So good from both spinners, and they're looking a lot better. Just a word on Dom Bess. A little concern for me seeing him bowl. Each time a batsman looks to take him on, he responds with a loose ball. So just wondering if he's the type of bowler you tell your batsman, take him on and you can hit him out of the attack. So that's probably something he'll need to work on and probably hold his nerve against. I guess he'll get better with the experience too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's well spotted if that's the case. Thank you much indeed, Russell. We'll catch up with you in our Close of Play podcast. We can't be too far away from the resumption now, with England needing 74 to win. I can see the sun still beating down into the Oval commentary box there. So a quick chat with Michael before we go off to join Dan Norcross there, who'll get us underway. I'm not sure I can see Sibley and Crawley knocking these off in what remains. I mean, there's no need, is there? I mean, the only thing that you could consider is if there really is some sort of terminal weather forecast tomorrow, but although it'll rain somewhere, it'll rain close by, it might rain on the ground. It's not usual in Sri Lanka that you get rain all day.
No, not from my experience. It's quite a big innings for someone like Dom Sibley. He was out in the first innings to Embledenya early, snuck one to slip. He's going to spin, so I think the England management will be looking at the way that he plays spin. Zach Crawley got out trying to chip it down the ground, so what you want as a start of a new year is just a nice score, and it's a good opportunity for both that pair that missed out in the first innings to just play sensibly, try and get 30, 35 not out if you can, and go on to the second test with a little bit of confidence. What you don't need is a couple of failures, knowing that there's players coming back in. The likes of Rory Burns will be available for India, Ben Stokes, Ollie Pope. And the competition for places is getting tougher and tougher for England's top 5. So this is another chance to go and get a few runs. And it's not going to be easy, because there will be balls like we've seen today that will take a bit of turf out of the deck, and there's going to be plenty of spin. So it's not going to be easy. But the only way that England have a panic on here is if they play reckless shots. They've just got to play sensibly. I know it's only a small target, and you sometimes I'll just smack it about and get these in 10, 15 overs. Just play. Just don't give Sri Lanka any kind of opportunity to think they've got any ounce of a sniff of winning this game.
Sure. Okay, thank you, Michael. I'm going to hand over to Dan Norcross. He's got lots of replays to commentate on if he wants to at the moment going on, because they're just filling the time there in Gaul as well until play gets underway, and it will do shortly. So England needs 74 to win, and let's go to the oval. It's an all-oval team in the sunshine. Looks lovely there, actually. Dan, you're there with Phil Tufnell.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, I don't think there's anything that I don't think I'll be able to commentate on these replays any better than you have already, but we'll see how it goes. Harsh. I'm going to run you through the scorecard. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to do that yet, because we've got a little bit of time, about 5 minutes or so before the England team come out to hunt down the 74 they need to win. We have to go all the way back into the mists of time yesterday for the first wicket to fall. It was Kusal Perera, caught by Leach off the bowling of Curran down at third man, or deep backward point if you like. It was a short, wide ball. His bottom hand came off the bat and he spooned the catch to Leach. Departed for 62 to Pereira. That's 101 for 1. Then just before the players went off for bad light, which was at around about 11:49 the UK time yesterday, that's the sort of time we might be looking at again today, which is in about half an hour's time, a little bit over half an hour. Kusal Mendes was caught quite splendidly by Butler off the bowling of Leach for 15. It was 155 for 2. Then today, resuming on 156 for 2, Sri Lanka lost the night watchman Embal Denia. Caught Sibley, bowled best for 0, 158 for 3. Then a tricky partnership, Lahiru Thiramani and Chandimal, before Thiramani was caught by Butler off the bowling of Curran for 111. That was 210 for 4. Thiramani's second century in Test cricket. Both of them have come at Gaul. His first was 8 years ago. The players are about to begin. I'll run you through the rest of the scorecard as we go, and it is going to be Embal Denia who's going to bowl the first ball. He's pushed into the offside by Crawley. He's off the mark straight away. He scatters the Crows, and England on the march. Next to go, Dinesh Chandimal, caught by Root off the bowling of Best quite brilliantly. He did it twice, according to Jonathan Agnew. He went for 20, 243 for 5. That was after 91.3 overs. Then Nirishan Dickwella, caught by Butler, bowling a better short ball, which is sort of cut at, got a thin edge. Embal Denia in again, wide of the off stump. The keeper, no run. Dickwella went for 29, that was 291 for 6. Dazan Shanaka next to go, bowled by Leach. He sort of played over the top of a full ball and sort of yorked himself. Embal Denia in again. Sibley goes back into his crease, works it into the onside, going to get off the mark himself with that single. They're going to come back for 2, they are. England advanced to 3 without loss. Both openers now off the mark. Then Wanindu Hazaranga was caught superbly by Leach, diving to his left and high off the bowling, a root off the bowling of Leach for 12. That was 314 for 8. The stiff resistance of Sri Lanka looked like it was wilting, having lost those 3 quick wickets for just 23 runs in 7 overs. We thought England would just be able to wrap it up in next to no time, maybe win the game today. Embal Denia in again, wide of the stumps, left alone by Sibley, but stout resistance from Dilruwan Pereira, Angelo Matthews and Asitha Fernando took Sri Lanka up to 359 before they were bowled out. Embal Denia in again, wide of the off stump, taken by Dickwella. Pereira became Jos Buttler's first stumping victim. The bowling of Leach, had to take a look at that for quite some time. Foot on the line, was there anything behind it? Very reminiscent of Moeen Ali at Brisbane 2017. Bowled him! Sibley leaving this ball alone. It's just come on with the arm, and England have lost their first wicket in the first over. Dominic Sibley goes for 2, and I hate to raise the spectre of India being bowled out for 36, Phil Tufnell, but is this match? Have we got another twist and turn? That just went straight on. That was the ball you've been asking for England spinners to bowl, I think.
That's right, because Dominic Sibley was just looking to sort of leave a lot just on the off stump. That just came on with the arm, or perhaps it was just one that just skidded along with the newness of the delivery, shouldered arms, and it cannoned into the off stump. So Dominic Sibley's trials against left arm spin continue. He'll be disappointed with that. It was a nice little opportunity for him just to sort of, just to show people that he's got a technique and a plan against the left arm spinner.
Well, he's been bowled leaving the ball a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Usually, obviously, against the quicker bowlers, because that's what he's normally facing at the top of the order.
Yeah.
But look, this is the very beginning of a long winter, or say, 6 test matches really for England out in the subcontinent. But the composition of the batting order is not immediately obvious. There are plenty of options, and with Rory Burns to come back into the side, there is a bit of fight for the opening spots. At the moment, Burns, Sibley, Crawley occupied 1, 2, 3 in England's summer. But you wonder, don't you, with the likes of Lawrence starring and Pope waiting in the wings, Bairstow having done well in the first innings, how England might want to jig that middle order. And so Sibley would have loved to have got some runs under his belt. He's misjudged that. he's just left a ball that's come straight on. He's hoped that it's going to turn. He's watched it onto the stump. And that's no fun if you've been out in the dirt all day.
No, you've got to perhaps try and guard against that, even if with a pad or something. You can't be right back on your stumps, leaving middle and off open, and when your bat raised, just for that occasion.
Pereira is going to open the bowling from the other. Oh, has he got an edge on that? Crawley. There are a lot of oohs and ahs, and England are just having a bit of a wobble here at the back end of the day. I was going to finish off the scorecard. I told you Pereira was the first victim, the stumping victim of Butler.
Edge.
Then Angelo Matthews last to go for 71, and we've just had a drop catch because Crawley has got a thin edge to Pereira's first ball, and it's been dropped by Dick Weller. Philip Tufnell's the next delivery is defended in the offside, no run.
And it's sometimes with the new ball, it does just skid off. If it doesn't completely hit the seam, it is tricky sometimes when you're facing a spin bowler with a new ball, because it does have that natural variation. It doesn't necessarily have to be an arm ball to go the other way. It can just sort of like skid through, as it did there against Crawley. England don't want to lose 2 or 3 here.
Pereira in, that's
sorry,
thick outside edge. I know it's tricky when you're watching the telly. And it goes to backward point. There's no run. Crawley just under a bit of pressure here. Pereira into him. He goes back and punches off the back foot. It's too short, and it's going to run away through the birds to the boundary for 4. That'll make Crawley feel an awful lot better. He moves to 5. England 7 for 1 at the end of the over. For those of you, because I know there are many of you out there who like to get the bowling figures and all that sort of thing. I'll sort that out at the end of the over. Too much is going on.
Yes.
Start of this England innings in pursuit of 74 for victory.
It's been a test match where lots has gone on, hasn't it? It's been a great test match, really intriguing all the way through. And who would have thought this after Sri Lanka's first innings debacle, that they've just got a little chance here.
Well,
it'd be interesting if they'd have caught that off Crawley.
England were 8 runs behind first innings with 8 wickets in hand at the close of day 1, and we're going to go into day 5. I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh yes.
Here is Pereira, and that's a reverse sweep from Crawley into the ground, picked up at first slip. The game has moved on in so many ways, and he gets no run for us. It goes along the ground. We just watched a replay of Sibley's dismissal, and he'll be. Is that just a bit of tired thinking, or not thinking? Now this ball spits at Crawley, he gets it down and fends it away from the left of leg gully for a single. He'll keep strike now. Mendes, who's been in the wars a lot in this game, dived and has hurt his right shoulder, but he's able to smile. He gets up. England 8 for 1, 2 overs bowled. Crawley 6, Bairstow yet to score. Quickly, those bowling figures, the wickets taken really by the spinners. Leach 41.5 overs, 6 maidens, 5 for 122. Best 33 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 100. Just 10 maidens between them in 75 overs nearly. Curran, the other wicket taker, 2 for 37 in 11. Very notable though, Stuart Broad, 17 overs, 11 maidens, none for 14. Wood, none for 49 in 21. Root, none for 19 in 11. And Lawrence, none for 10 in 2. That's the bookkeeping dealt with. Now let's get back to the game. We've got about, we think, probably about half an hour before the light closes in. We wait to see. And then Denier is in to Crawley, comes forward in defence, pushes it to the offside. No running, and 8 for 1.
Delighted for Jack Leach. And Don Best bowled better as well, gone into a bit more of a groove. You could see that, you know, they were getting better and better as the game progressed. But delighted for Jack Leach.
In again, the left arm spinner, and that's defended by Crawley on the front foot into the offside. There's no run.
He had a tough old Bubbles, didn't he, in the English summer?
Did an awful lot of fetching and carrying.
He did.
And that must have been quite dispiriting, but he did it with a joyous disposition.
He did.
For the most part. And Denier in. Big appeal for LBW. That ball coming in with the arm. They're likely to refer this, you might imagine. They've got to take 10 wickets before England reach 73. They're not going to, I don't think. Chandimal's chatting. Now having a look. The timer's down to 5, 4, 3, 2. He's going to be one of these. Is he's going to... No. Sometimes. In fact, more than sometimes. Wait until there's sort of 1 second left, but they haven't gone for the referral. 8 for 1.
I like this bowling. The odd straight honour.
Crawley faces up 2, slips forward, short leg, and he gets a thick outside edge that squirts away to backward point. It is a nightmare out there at the moment for England's openers. One of them's already gone, and Crawley facing this hard new ball against a bowler who knows exactly what he's trying to do. Is there a bit of glove on that?
Yeah, a bit of shoulder of the back glove. Flew up to sort of like it would have been like a square silly point.
It's in again, Denier, and goes back into his crease as Crawley punches back to the bowler on the bounce. There's no run. I'm pretty certain we're going to go into a 5th day here, and that's a testament to the way Sri Lanka have battled back.
Yeah.
But you know what, I'm going to ask Andy Zaltzman what England were bowled out for. I'll come back to it in a minute. Denier in, wide of the off stump, through to the keeper, no run, end of the 3rd over. England 8 for 1 in pursuit of 74 to win. I'm thinking, was it Abu Dhabi against Pakistan in 2012, chasing about 120? Were they bowled out for 74?
Yes, left arm Atur Rahman, I think, got him out.
Atur Rahman, yeah.
There was Rahman and Syed Ajmal. I think England were chasing 144 and bowled out for 72.
72
on that occasion. Just a few stats. Jack Leach's final spell, 4 for 37 in 12 overs and 5 balls. His second Test, 5 for the other one, also in Sri Lanka on the 2018 tour. It's a very good record on second innings, 28 wickets, averaged 21 in second innings for England now. And Joe Root took 3 more catches, 5 in the match. He's got 47 in his last 25 matches, which is the most by an England non-wicket keeper in a 25 match sequence.
Oh, see, that's the kind of stat we weren't expecting.
No.
I like those ones, Andy. I mean, I love your 2s, don't get me wrong, they're all great, but yeah, you do like your 25s, don't you? Bairstow faces up his first ball. You know what he does? He reverse sweeps his first ball from the off-spinner Pereira to backward point or short third man, and gets off the mark straight away. 9 for 1, the target 74.
I think Dominic Sibley, though, will have to work on his technique against left arm spin, that is for sure.
Bit of knowing where your off stump is as well, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
That does seem to get hit quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'll ask Andy about that. Pereira in, back into his crease goes Crawley, clips away nicely down to deep backward square leg for another single. Moves to 7, England to 10 for 1.
Because it doesn't half go round the old Bush Telegraph very, very quickly, doesn't it? You know, all doesn't like the short ball, all can't play left arm spin, all can't do this, can't do this.
What happened with Kevin Peterson?
Yeah.
Then any old left arm spinner would just come, part-timers just come straight on. Pereira in, and Bairstow this time it's orthodox on the front foot, pushing out into the offside, and there's no run.
Yeah, it's not a worry at the moment, but he'll just be niggling away in the back of his mind. Well, keep seeming to get out to him.
Yes, it would do, wouldn't it? Bairstow on strike, faces the off spinner and gets turned right round, French cricket style, and then jabs the ball into the ground. This is all a bit nervy at the moment for England. I think they'd quite like play to be called off right now, actually. Go back, regroup and come back out again tomorrow. 10 for 1. Bairstow faces up and he sweeps vigorously. So nice shot, good connection down to deep backward square. He'll only get the single for it. As Pereira fielding out there on the boundary.
Not a bad
fall back in, 11 for 1.
Not a bad fella coming in, actually. Johnny Bairstow at this time. He'll sweep, he'll look to be positive. He won't just be sort of like stuck in the crease and propping and cocking.
Well, that was England's problem at Abu Dhabi, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Crawley defends, thick inside edge, runs away, backward square on the onside for a single. He goes to 8. England 12 for 1 after 4 overs. Yes, Andy, how many overs was that tortuous 72? It was about 40 odd overs, wasn't it?
I'll get the scorecard up. It was certainly a lot. Looking at Sibley's, the second time he's been bowled in 21 innings in Test, but the other was against West Indies at the start of last summer, also playing no shot. Against left arm spin, slightly concerning numbers early in his career. He's been out 4 times to left arm spin for 79 runs, averaging 19 against left arm spin compared with 34 against right arm spin, and ran about just under 40 against pace bowling.
I have a strong suspicion that it's Simon Mann time. Is that right? I can't really see you very well. Are you giving me the thumbs up? Has he given me the thumbs up? I can't see.
Oh, I don't know whether that's a thumb.
It's hard to tell. I'm afraid that the sun is shining so brightly in my eyes. I'll do this ball. Forward in defence comes Crawley. Plays out into the offside. There's no run. England 12 for 1. Crawley 8. Bairstow 2. They need 74 to win. I think I'm going over to Simon Mann.
Thank you very much.
Oh, here he is.
So Sibley on his way for 2.
Yeah.
England 12 for 1. With Crawley on 8. They want a cracking shot through the offside. Sri Lanka starting off with both their spinners. Here's Embledenia, bowls to Crawley, and that's a beauty as well. Some bounces. Goodness me, Thomas, they're chasing 150 here. I'm not sure I back them to win the game.
No, I think you're right. I mean, it might just be that new ball as well, but I mean, that's an absolute beauty. Say Dick Weller taking that shoulder high, beautifully pitched, beautiful line as well.
Here is Embledenia bowling to Crawley. That's full this time. No problems for Crawley. Digs it out into the onside. Embledenia's across to pick up, and there's no run.
I mean, 74 should be a walk in the park, really, but you don't want to lose a 2 or 3 quickly.
You don't want to be 20 for 4, do you?
No.
Crawley struck on the pad as he leans forward. A concerted appeal from Embledenia, not much from behind. Question for Embledenia is whether he's able to get that to straighten enough. Umpire said not out. DRS time is ticking down, and Chandimal is not interested in going for it. There was one earlier where Crawley was struck on the pad and they didn't go for it. We've seen the replay on that. That was going over the top. Embledenia bowls. Crawley right back into his stumps, a bit like we saw from Joe Root in the first innings. Now they go right forward or right back, and he's right back, playing that defensively. Again, a bit like French cricket. It was an inside edge onto that last one. That was the reason there was no review. Not sure Embledenia spotted the inside edge. Here he is again, bowls to Crawley. Crawley edges, he's caught in the gully, looking to hit that through the offside, and Embledenia has got his second wicket, and England are 12 for 2, chasing 74 to win.
Beautifully bowled. I like the way he's sort of like incorporated the arm ball. That's what's tricking these England batsmen at the moment. We didn't bowl enough of those half-spin bowlers. He's bowled the ones that have gone straight on. That one beautifully flighted outside the off stump, drawing Crawley into the off drive, which then turned and got a thick outside edge. So beautiful bit of bowling, but that sort of stems from a couple of those ones that have just skidded on and hit him on the pad. Lovely flight and guile outside the off stump. England 12 for 2,
chasing 74.
Oh, we've got a game on here. Joe Root comes to save the day.
Well, he's on his way. Bairstow and Root. Of course, Sibley and Crawley went early in the first innings, and England still managed 421. England was 17 for 2 in the first innings. But the ball is spinning out there. If they do get Root, then so they get Root early.
Yeah. And you know, anything can happen on this pitch. The left arm spinner. We listened to Joe Root on an interview yesterday saying that those first 15 or 20 balls, you know, on this kind of pitch, anyone can get one with your name on it.
The 11th time in England's Test history that their openers have been out in single figures in both innings of a Test. most recently the Headingley Test of 2019 that ended with Ben Stokes' spectacular match-winning innings, but only 11 times in their entire Test history. The first of them was in the second ever Test match at the MCG back in March of 1877.
I've got another question for you, Andy. I saw a tweet from Simon Wilde, Sunday Times cricket correspondent. He says, I reckon this is the first time that 2 England spinners have taken fifers in a Test since Underwood and Embury, also in Sri Lanka, in 1982. So 2 England spinners in the same match taking fifers.
I was midway through looking that up actually during the innings break, and didn't finish my stats. Too many stats. Simon Wilde's beating me to it.
So is that right, or are you still looking, still checking?
I'll finish looking up my stats.
Okay, fine. Right, here's Bairstow, the last ball of the over. Pereira bowls. Bairstow goes back, brushes it into the leg side for a welcome single. Goes out to Kusal Pereira, who returns. 13 for 2 is the score. I don't know, you score 228 in a Test match, then you get to the final innings and you're scrabbling back for some runs.
I know.
To win the game.
I mean, who would I must admit, after that first day, Sri Lanka's first innings, I didn't think we'd be coming back on the 5th day, but they've put England just under a bit of pressure here.
Pereira bowls to Root, who sweeps, the ball goes to slip, there's an appeal for a catch, and the umpire's not interested. Umpire Dharmasena. Root swept at that. The only way he could be out really is if he got a little edge on it to his pad. Interesting first shot, first ball from Root. We saw him sweep so much in that first innings. The way to go. No review from Chandimal, the captain. 13 for 2, 74 in all to win. We're coming to the end of this day's play. Still overs left, but it's a question of light. Pereira bowls to Root. Root goes back and dabs that away, and it goes up a thickish outside edge in the end, down into the slip fielder. There are 14 overs left after this, so it's 60 to win.
When did they call time?
They called it at 10 to 12 yesterday, or just before 10 to 12, so we've perhaps got another 15 minutes. It depends whether the light's the same. I mean, might be fewer clouds around today. Here is Pereira into bowl to Root, who sweeps the ball from fractionally outside the off stump, makes decent contact, down to Kusal Pereira again, a deep backward square leg, and they are through for one more. Root to 1. He's off the mark with another sweep shot.
Such an in-controlled shot for Joe Root, isn't it? Just such a great release shot against the spin bowlers. You can rotate, strike. No real risk there, is there? He's just so in control of it. Very difficult to pin him down and get 6 balls at him as a spin bowler, because he can just knock you around there with a sweep.
Bairstow settles over his bat. And Pereira comes round the wicket to bowl to him. He's back into his stumps, clipping this into the onside. He's looking to pitch the ball on, straighten it and pin him LBW there. That's one of the theories of bowling round the wicket here from Pereira. And Bairstow was right back and got the bat down just in time, otherwise they'd have been a huge shout for LBW. 14 for 2. Bairstow faces Pereira. Pereira tosses this one up. Bairstow dabs it into the offside. They're off for a quick single. Run out.
He's run out.
I think he's run out. The throw hit the stumps at the striker's end. Bairstow and Root. There was hesitation. Dab into the offside, and this is going to be out, I'm pretty sure. Lyndon Hannibal's back in action. Bairstow and Root coming together in the middle.
There was a coming together between the bowler and Root. He's almost gone across his path. Let's have a look here. Root. Oh,
Root's run out. Root's run out. Yep. He dropped his bat as well. Well short. Oh, he's run out by yards.
Unbelievable. Well, if you see that the bowler got in his way, and Joe Root sort of had a coming together with the bowler in his follow through.
There we go. Confirmation of out. So.
Gone.
I mean, whose call was that? I mean, presumably Bairstow dabbed it into the offside and called. It was a very tight single. Root walks off shaking his head, and incredibly England are 14 for 3. And Joe Root, double century maker in the first innings, has been run out for 1.
This is why we love the game, isn't it? This is why the game of cricket is so extraordinary. Joe Root, England's best player by far, but he was impeded. He was balked. It's like the greyhound going round the corner. He was definitely balked by the bowler. Got right in front of him, and almost, as I said, there was a coming together. Joe Root almost sort of, I think, put his hands out and went, "Hold on a minute, I can't get round you."
Well, I thought when they showed the replay, they just showed the the side-on camera showing that the throw broke the stumps before Root made his ground. So I haven't seen that coming together yet, or they haven't showed it again.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Right, here's Dan Lawrence.
Crikey. Welcome to Test match cricket, Dan.
Sam Lawrence is getting his kit in the back there. Last thing he'd have expected tonight. Did I say Sam Lawrence or Sam Curran? Sam Curran. Lawrence is out there. And a bit of pressure on the young man in his first Test match.
He'll play his shots.
England are 14 for 3, they need 74 to win. Root just been run out. There's a new over. Besto is on strike, and that's edged in the air and goes away into the offside. They're off for another quick single. Come another run out. There would have been a run out if the throw had hit the stumps.
What is going on at Gaul? What is going on at Gaul?
Besto set off for the single. It was a very iffy shot to start with. It went ballooning away into the offside. Besto went off for the run, and the throw came in at the non-striker's end. Besto was nowhere near making his ground, and that would have been another run out.
Not in the frame. Real jitters here for England. Just got to calm themselves down a bit here. They only need 74.
Just goes for 3.
Just goes to show, doesn't it? What a little tricky passage of play can sometimes just do to the nerves and the concentration and composure on a pitch that is now really spitting, really leaping at the batsman's gloves and the shoulders of the bat as well.
Michael next to me says another 50 and they had no chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's Embledenia bowling. It's nicely driven into the offside by Lawrence to extra cover, and there's no run. Suddenly that 74 looks a long way off.
There you go.
And we're just watching the replay of the run out again. Root was... Yeah, he just had to get round the bowler. I don't think the bowler did anything in particular, to be honest. Lawrence drives into the offside and he gets it through. There's a man sweeping on the deep cover boundary, so Lawrence gets a single, and England are 16 for 3. It's interesting whether Root could have sent Besto back there. Of course, in the first innings, he set off the single. He knew there wasn't one there, and Best had to sacrifice himself. Sri Lanka have given themselves a chance here. 16 for 3. Besto on 4. Embledenia bowls. Besto pushes that back down the pitch and there's no run. Of course, a little sensible partnership, 20-25 runs and then...
Job done.
Yeah, it's just getting that partnership at the moment. You feel any ball could take a wicket the way things are going.
It's looking a long way off, that partnership at 25, Simon.
Besto on 4. That's short outside the off stump, clattered away out towards the deep cover area. But there is a fielder. It's Asita Fernando who sends in the return. Besto goes to 5. It was Dick Weller who ran from behind the stumps to effect the run out. And it was a direct hit. There was a fielder right by the stumps. It would have been a run out if it hadn't been a direct hit, if the fielder was coming in and he would have taken the ball. That's the one thing for the third umpire is whether the fielder knocked off the bails. He didn't. The ball hit the bails. Embledenia bowls a ball outside the off stump of Lawrence. Lawrence lets it go and it's through to Dick Weller, the wicketkeeper. And we've had 7 overs and England are 17 for 3. Sibley out for 2, Crawley for 8, Root run out for 1. Besto 5, Lawrence 1.
Incredible little passage of play. I mean, Sri Lanka, apart from that first innings, the partnership between Root and Lawrence and what have you, really come steaming back into this game, haven't they? They'll be delighted with the way they've reacted.
Yeah, it gives them some encouragement for the next Test match. I mean, mind you, this game's not done yet.
No, but they will be kicking themselves for that first day.
Absolutely. And England's lower order didn't exactly distinguish themselves in the first innings. They haven't had much time at the crease. Here is Dilruwan Pereira bowling to Besto. Besto back into his stumps, playing defensively into the leg side. It's a bit brighter this evening than it was yesterday evening, as far as I can tell anyway. Dank cloud yesterday. The players came off at 10 to 12. Pereira bowls to Besto. Besto back, nudging this towards short leg. Stopped by Dasan Shanaka.
Oh, Johnny Besto will be thinking, I better get us over the line here. I've just run out the bloke who's got 228. This is on him now. That's what he'll be
Then he
thinking.
nearly ran himself out. Bairstow goes back and turns into the onside, backward a square, and gets a single.
Brilliant. Love Test cricket.
Bairstow moves to 6. England to 18 for 3. So how many overs have we got left? We've got 12 overs left in the day's play after this one.
Probably won't get all of those, will we?
Probably not, although the spinners are on. It just depends on whether the light holds. I think on a sunny day we might be okay, but it's sort of mixture today. We had sunshine earlier and then it clouded over. We thought there was going to be Armageddon at one stage. And that huge black cloud that's near the ground deposited everything away from it. It's brightened up a bit since. Lawrence faces Prairie, comes down the pitch and plays it firmly back to the bowler, who whips the ball back to Dick Weller to make sure Lawrence is back in his ground. And there is no run.
Like that from Lawrence. Use of the feet. Shows confidence.
18 for 3. Confirmation is brighter than it was at this time yesterday, so we'll go on past 10 to 12. Lawrence turns that one away into the onside to the right of Chandimal at mid-wicket. And there is one more run to the total. In theory, we can play till 12:15, I'm told. And could an extra half an hour be claimed? Well, I suppose it depends where England are. I can't see a situation where Sri Lanka could win the game tonight. Surely not.
Something would have gone terribly wrong.
But England need 74 to win. They're 19 for 3 now. So what's that? Another 55. Bairstow waits. Pereira bowls to him. Bairstow plays that calmly into the onside, and there's no runner. The greater threat seems to come when Embaldenia is bowling. 19 for 3. Tubbers, that's your lot, I think, for now.
Lovely.
And it's time to bring in Ebony Rainford Brent.
Well, lively patch, Simon. You have to give credit. I think Embaldenia has been the standout spinner the whole game. I thought he bowled beautifully early on, and then you could see he got a little bit tired later on when England were going well with the bat, but just the control, the variations, a bit of everything has caused a nice fun upset for the game anyway. It's made it much more interesting.
It does make you think about Sri Lanka scoring those extra 50, 60, 70 runs, something like that, but then sport is full of that. If this had happened and that had happened, but Sri Lanka, massive self-inflicted wound on the first day of the game. That one there's a misfield, and it allows Lawrence a single to mid-off. 20 for 3. Everything gratefully received by England. Very happy to see a misfield. Sunset is in an hour's time. So 12 overs left. The spinners are rattling through, so we might get another half an hour or so's cricket. When you see a situation like that, it does draw my mind back to the test match in Abu Dhabi where England had to chase 99 with the light fading. Here it's Bairstow on strike, pushing forward. Ball goes into the onside. They didn't know how many overs they had left in the match, but also they had to get those 99 runs, as it turned out, in 11 overs on a pitch that was spitting a bit like this as well. So it was not easy to thrash it in the final innings. You say, oh, it's 9 and over. You get that in a T20 game or a one-day international with 10 wickets left. Embaldenia bowls very full. Big drive from Bairstow, goes skewing away into the offside towards backward point, and there's no run. Bairstow on the thick outside edge to that one.
Good energy.
Stuffing it away.
To say Sri Lanka, you have to give them credit. Their energy at the moment in the field, the bowling, making England feel the pressure.
Embaldenia bowls to Bairstow, back into his stumps. Bairstow turns it quietly into the onside, then marches off towards square leg to compose himself. Heart will be pumping out there. Bairstow, he's run out the skipper, he's nearly run himself out. He's played a few uppishly away on the offside. There are 2 close catches, a slip and a gully away on that offside, and a silly point as well. Embaldenia bowls, Bairstow covers any spin there, leaning forward, and again he does that march away from the crease, and there's no run. England are 20 for 3. Bairstow,
what do you think, Simon?
In what
upset?
sense? Well, you should still win from here. It might be a bit tighter than England were hoping. You just got to try to say to each other, if you can, look, let's look at the scoreboard in another 20 runs time. It is very different. Just knock a few around the ground, take some singles. Embaldenia bowls, Bairstow defends, plays it to short leg. And there is no run. End of the over. Imagine another 2 quick wickets here. It's not easy for the new man coming in. And that lower order from England today, or in this test match, Curran, Best, Leach, Wood, Broad, they can all bat, but there's also vulnerabilities there as well. So 20 for 3. Ebbs, more thoughts from you. England needs 74 to win. More thoughts from you, and then it will be Jonathan Agnew again.
Yeah, I think if you're Sri Lanka as well, you might look at Lawrence, just in the sense that he's just come to the crease. He likes to play his shots, and obviously on debut, so that pressure will be up. He might look to go at a few, try and offer him a few tempters. He likes to use that bottom hand whip.
Isn't this incredible? My word, 20 for 3. Nerves jangling everywhere, wherever you're watching or listening. What it must be like in the England dressing room. But Lawrence clipped that away to mid-wicket. Very interesting to see how he plays. He looks so assured in the first innings. Young man playing in his first test. Pereira bowls to his sweeps. He's struck on the pad, but outside the line of the off stump. And that runs away down towards third man. They could get 2 if they're quick. Everyone's important. 2 reminders after that, but they only managed the 1. I think Lawrence getting up from that sweep position probably took a little bit of time. It's another 1 though. 21 for 3, chasing 74. Well, my word. Sibley 2, Crawley 8, and Root run out for 1. He collided with the bowler at the start of the run. That was the problem. And then was always struggling. A direct hit has finished it off. That was 14 for 3. Pereira's going around the wicket now. That turns again, hits Bairstow on the pad. He plays defensively. He's on 6. Well, you can sort of peer into the England dressing room. You can see little bits and pieces of what's going on. Joss Butler sitting there, crouching, as well as pads on. There's a fan going. Jacques Callis has got a cup of tea as usual. Pereira goes round the wicket. Now that's one to hit, but he doesn't get hold of it. It's outside the leg stump, asking to be hit away. Bairstow missed it though. He went for the sweep shot. Missed that completely. And all of this, of course, I don't know what the light is going to be like, how it's going to deteriorate, what impact that might have. There's no floodlights.
In some ways, England got lucky that the pitch has held up. If this was a little bit more certain.
Pereira again, round the wicket, bowls outside the off stump. Oh, Bairstow. Tried to cut and missed it. Just a fraction away from being caught behind. I expect Bairstow to try and play positively if he can. Oh, England can't lose another wicket now. Waits again, crouching at the knees. Pereira bowls to his carefully forward, this time playing into the bowler's right hand. It's the end of the over, 10 gone. It's 21 for 3 as England chase 74 to win this first test. A test they looked as they might have won within 2 days. Certainly 2.5 days. And now it's going into the 5th, one imagines, with, well, every result possible. 53 to win. It's nothing, but yet it's huge. At this moment in time, isn't it? You've been in those dressing rooms, Ebbs.
Yeah, the pressure. I think the key thing is the wicket has held up. If this had deteriorated and England were now batting and it was seriously spitting or staying low, what it is doing is, yes, it's turning, but it's still slow and it's still relatively consistent bounce.
And Dominion goes in, bowls outside the off stump. It spins away, not really threatening Lawrence's outside edge, but he'll never have experienced anything like this in his life either. The chatter around, the bat, all the talking, the pressure of the situation, the ball spitting like this. Wimbledon, he bowls again. Oh, he gives himself room. That was one that crept on. It was the one that did for Sibley when he didn't play a stroke. He's got quite a good arm ball, Wimbledon, yeah, and that was one as Lawrence was drifting away. Just scurried on. That would have hit the off stump. 21 for 3. Back goes Lawrence again. There's more turn. He takes the bottom hand off the bat handle. It's exhausting watching. It really is. Imagine if there was a full house watching this, and you had the Barmies there shouting, chanting, waving their flags.
That one popped a little.
It certainly did.
It's
gone vertically.
Yeah.
Oh, he's played that really well. I bet he's never played that shot before in his life. Totally reflex. Fending a spinner off. The bowls again. He's on the back foot. Giving himself again that little bit of room outside the leg stump to play it carefully into the off. Young man in his first Test match. Well, he'll be racking up the experience as a result of this. 21 for 3. And Buldenia moves in, left arm from round the wicket. Oh, another one, turns, just goes over the off stump. Bails are taken off by the keeper.
He didn't know too much about that one. He was walking, wasn't he? He was walking.
He's smiling. To be fair, he smiled there at Johnny Bairstow. I like that. It's just absolutely ripped.
It's the beauty of a delivery.
Yeah. 21 for 3. Buldenia again bowls, and that's on the leg stump. He can just pad that away, and with some relief, he's negotiated that over. Well played, young man. It's just, he will never ever have experienced anything like this in his life, and he's smiling and he's loving it. And that's great. That face says it all, doesn't it?
Well, it's good, great. Well, look, this is brilliant in terms of England developing this wider squad. Yes, some of the names like Stokes and Archer aren't around, but it provides opportunity, and really impressive in the first innings. And again, this will be good to see how his character handles it. Sometimes with those balls like the last one, you just got to laugh off, not get stuck and restart. So yeah, exciting player. Let's see how he fares.
It is. It's a special character to be able to laugh it off, isn't it, in your first game, and just be able to move on and get rid of it. I mean, we're getting a proper look, I think, at his temperament here. I like the look of it too. So Sri Lanka were bowled out here for 73. That was the match before England's previous Test match at Galle. They need to score one more than that. Pereira's going round the wicket and bowls to Bairstow, allows that to spin away. Dick Muller drops it again. No one in the offside catching. 2 in the leg. Bairstow's on 6. 21 for 3.
Put away the reverse.
Well,
we saw him earlier, just a couple of overs ago, give it a go, but he's parked it.
He's backed away there, Bairstow. Something happened. There's a noise, maybe something chattering, or a low-flying crow. Something. Enough anyway for him suddenly to pull away. Oh, it was a crow. Saw it there on the replay. That was that was a replay. It shot straight across the screen. Pereira bowls. Bairstow forward this time. Pereira walks across, picks it up. Gives the ball a rub on the back of his trousers. 21 for 3. Can't help but feel that the slightest offer of lightning will be away. Just get off, come back tomorrow. Clear heads. The pressure gone. Pereira bowls. There's the reverse sweep. Hits him on the pan. Now he's run away, beating the wicketkeeper and the leg slip. Crows and egrets everywhere as the ball's pursued to the boundary, and it makes the boundary. It's 4. It's 4 to England. Doesn't matter what they are, the buys, I suspect. 4 anythings at this stage is what England want. It was the reverse sweep. It's turned, spun a mile and bounced over his shoulder. The wicketkeeper had no chance of stopping that. Look at that go.
Got lucky there, trying to relieve some pressure. There's quite a few dot balls had lined up there, but I'm not sure how many, but at least 10 or so, maybe even a couple of maidens prior to that.
25 for 3. Target 74. Pereira round the wicket, bowling his off spin, another sweep, and that's gone through the short leg fields. But another misfield. They should profit from that. They do. Shouldn't really have been that run. There's a couple of misfields actually that Sri Lanka have given away. I'm not going to criticise Mendes because he's a brilliant fielder, but just couldn't quite get hold of the ball there as it ran away from him. And so it's another one. He actually managed to kick it with his foot. That was the trouble. He went to pick it up and his right foot came through and kicked it. So another run. 26 for 3. Lawrence on 3. Pereira's going over the wicket to him, and he's forward, playing that away across the pad. Very well stopped there by the tumbling short leg fieldsman. There's 1 to go in this over. So it's Shanako in that short leg at the moment. They're hopefully giving Mendes a bit of a break in there. As he's down the pitch now, Lawrence trying to flick away into the leg side, but the ball only cannons into the pad, fielded by Shanaka, and the over ends. 26 for 3, 48 needed by England. And it's usually you and me on for the early stint. Ebony.
We'll be on it again
We'll
tomorrow.
have a date for tomorrow morning. I was going to
ready.
say can't wait. That's perhaps not entirely true, but of course you know what I mean. We'll
Andy,
be there. I hope everyone
Bill.
listening, come on. It's Monday morning. Doesn't matter. It's so many people
Get
will
up.
be at home anyway. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be on air at 4:15. And who knows what we're going to bring you. But if you leave it too late, it's going to be over. What's the point in waking up at nice cosy 7:30 and it being all over? Oh, okay.
There have been 20 dot balls before that single from the misfield, although there was a leg by and then those 4 byes.
Embaldenia bowls to Bairstow, who plays him down into the gully. So come on, that's the challenge. Let's have a huge audience tomorrow morning. Who knows what's going to happen in this game? You can always roll over and go back to sleep again. We'll have the Gabba Test match afterwards, and there's Big Bash after that. It's cricket all the way tomorrow. Embaldenia round the wicket, bowls his left arm spin, another massive turner, which Bairstow's playing no shot at. He's spitting past. So come on, it's a date. 4:15.
Well,
That's
Agus,
alarm clock set.
there's a better way. I don't know if you've got with the modern technology. You can set it now on one of those. I've got a device, one of those
Yes.
voice-enabled ones. Set it. It just comes on
Embaldenia
gently.
bowls, and that's driven away out to cover. They're taking 1 run, and they come back for 2. I think there they do. Bairstow to 9. What's that called?
So I've got. I won't tell you the because I'm
No.
sure that many
There are other ones.
are available, but I've got a wired system at home where all the speakers are connected, and then you just pre-organise on your phone, and then it just wakes you up
Just
with whatever
drifts.
station. It just drifts in.
Oh, that's nice. Bairstow forward. That's picked up at silly point to end that over. 28 for 3. 46 more runs needed. Actually, it's not the end of the over. There's a couple more. 46 needed. Embaldenia spins himself a couple of catches. Swings the arm. Moves it again. Bowls to Bairstow. Leaves that well. It was that one that skids on again. And theatrically there, Embaldenia holds his head in his hands. Bairstow survives. Yes, so come on, 4:15. I'm not sure if it's a 4:15 start or a 4:30 start. I think possibly that depends on what happens this evening with the light. Embaldenia. Oh, now again Bairstow's pulled away. I don't think that was a crow. I think that was short leg having a chat. So Bairstow's pulled away. I said, I'm sorry, I can't have that. So now we've got to go and try again. Embaldenia once more. Bowls. Oh, puff of dust. Pushed past Cover's left hand. One more. 29 for 3. We think it's probably 4:15. So what's 15 minutes? So even if it isn't, it's a date with Ebony. 4:15 in the morning.
I'll be up.
We'll be there. We'll be there. And so will Andy
10
Zoltzman. Won't you, Andy?
I'll be here whether there's cricket going on or not, just looking up stats, I imagine.
What, in your shed at
Quick thing.
4:15?
Every day,
Not
Agus,
even,
365 days of the year. Quickly on Embaldenia, dismissed England's openers in both innings in single figures. He's the first bowler to dismiss both England openers in both innings of a test since Shane Warne at the Oval in 2005.
Oh, that's a very good call.
Very good stat.
It's the
He's
process
impressive.
that gets me with these stats. It's the thinking, it's the mind, isn't it, that creates these stats. Great stuff. Thank you, Andy. Now Pereira, and that's swept by Bairstow, but off the pad is well outside the line of the off stump there, so that appeal futile. Pardamasina's having none of that. 29 for 3. Target 45 runs away for England to win this first test match. And then they will reconvene on Friday. Same ground, different pitch. Pereira bowls and Bairstow works that away out to mid-wicket. The man there, so they'll take just the 1 run, but I'm quite happy with that. Yes, different pitch, but in many ways the same, I suspect, because that's Gaul for you. And it's been lying out there. How much preparation it would have had, really, because they go on till it's dark. The covers all go on to protect this pitch. It doesn't get light very early in Sri Lanka unless the groundsman's out there with his torch rolling the pitch for Friday. I'm not sure how much work he'll be able to get onto it. Pereira bowls. This is played off the front foot by Lawrence. Ball grubs away out towards a gully. No run. We're waiting for indications of the light. Certainly no shadows at the players' feet. Pereira bowls and Lawrence works out with the spin.
Nice little not out
Onside.
for Lawrence would
Yep.
do this first test quite nicely after his first innings performance. Been down under a bit of pressure.
So Pereira again flicked away on the leg side. There's arms raised as that bobbles along the ground, only as far as deep square leg though. It's another run. Little flick with the spin. 31 for 3. I'm advised by the ever on the ball Danny Rubin out there with the England team is there, and press manager as it were. 6:13 local time is sunset officially. So if someone can work out what that 5.5 hours back from that is while I'm commentating, that would help. In goes Pereira, bowls outside the off stump, and that beats the outside edge. Frustrating there for Sri Lanka, but Bairstow clings on. So 6:13 in Gaul is what time in GMT? Where are we with that? It's 12:05 now.
Got an app for this, hold
I
on.
think, yeah, probably another 40 minutes, is it?
What time are you saying? Colombo time?
6:13.
PM.
Yeah.
Is 1:13 PM London time.
Another 40 minutes. But that is sunset. They won't be playing at sunset. I've only seen one game played, and that was the famous game at Karachi, where it actually was after sunset that game was finished in the dark. Quite remarkable. I don't think we'll have that today, but it's 31 for 3. England need 43 more to win. 7 wickets left, and Embaldini is moving in and bowling to 23-year-old Dan Lawrence in his first Test match. He played so promisingly in his first innings, got him going nicely, and now he's experiencing the proper pressure of Test cricket too. 43 to win the match, and he's on the back foot, pushing that away. He's found the gap. That's beautifully played. Is there a man out there in the deep? There is, swinging round to his left-hand side, and Lawrence will come back for 2.
Nicely played there.
Very.
Yeah, just good footwork, isn't it? He saw the length early, got back, stayed compact, and didn't try and overhit it as well.
He knew that gap was there too, didn't he? He just opened the face of the bat ever so slightly. 33 for 3. Target 74. It's 41 needed now. Lawrence waits. Embaldini moves in. Bowls to him. He's creeping forward. Big stride there. Ball rolls up the pitch for the bowler to collect. 41 needed. Discussions about the field. Some pointing of arms. Dick Waller, I think, wants somebody moving in to the offside there. Chandimal, the captain, agrees. Chewing gum at slips. There's a slip, a gully. 2 men close in the offside as well. Oh, that flies. My word. And it's beaten the keeper and running away for more buys. Will it go for 4? I think it has done. An absolute bonus from a grenade. It's 4-leg buys. But my word. I mean, there'll be batsmen watching this wondering, well, how would I have played that, I wonder? The answer is I really don't know. Was it leg buys? I think it just absolutely turned and ripped right past him, didn't it? Let's have a look again. It just absolutely flew. I don't think he's got anything on that.
I don't think anyone's got anything. Interestingly as well, it's pretty slow. It's only 49 miles an hour, but it's just popped off the surface.
I think the umpire there has given leg buys when they were buys, actually, but never mind, doesn't matter what they are from England's perspective. 37 for 3, and Domenia again bowls, and Lawrence drives him with that bottom hand cover drive that we saw him play in the first innings. He picks up 1 to Fernando, who's keeping a low profile up there. We've seen him bowl his seamers. It's been spin all the way, and they've really put the pressure on with a wicket in the first over. Sibley bowled for 2, playing no shot. 3 for 1. And then Crawley, caught by Mendes, close in off Embaldini for 8. 12 for 2. Root run out. 14 for 3. The wheels were off at that stage. Embaldini again creeps in from round the wicket, and well left again by Bairstow, raising the bat, allowing that to spin away, and taken by the keeper. 15 overs gone. England need 36 more runs to win this first Test match.
So what's your prediction for tonight?
It has been nailed down. 135 all out. How could you almost all be in a position possibly of losing a match from there? It's incredible. It's Test cricket, isn't it? It's just what it is.
Yeah, but Sri Lanka ended up once they bowled England out in that session, that morning session yesterday. They've pretty much won, I would say, arguably every session since, on the balance of everything. You know, their batting, they didn't collapse. They just continued to add partnerships, and even now, arguably, if this was just an isolated session, you would say they're ahead. They've really bounced back. Mickey Arthur must have got stuck in, or they've had some good words in the camp.
Yeah, it was certainly from that morning session on the third day when England lost those 6 wickets. That was the point it really rather changed up, because there was still a mountain of runs, but they were still 286 behind. Andy?
Just a little more on Embledenia. I've got Patrick Noon at CricViz digging around in their system. It's only the 4th instance in the history of Test cricket in which a bowler has dismissed both openers in both innings for single-figure scores. So a very rare achievement. Kyle Jarvis did it for Zimbabwe against Bangladesh, Lakmal for Sri Lanka against West Indies back in 2018. Before that, only Malcolm Marshall against India and Kanpur had ever done that, dismissing both openers in single figures in both innings.
And another mention for Green Park. We love it. Hazaranga's on to bowl his wrist spin. This is a risk, because he does bowl some loose balls, but I suspect he'll also spin the ball a long way, and he's got a googly. So a bit of a risk taken here. I think Chandimal reckons with 36 to go. Oh, however, I've just seen the umpires take the bails off, and that's it. Bad light, I think, has stopped play for the day. He just suddenly saw a shot of the umpire knocking the bails off as Hazaranga was preparing to bowl. So that will be it. England need 36 to win. And that is that. Lawrence is on 7, and Bairstow is on 11, I think I'm right in saying. Play suspended due to bad light, it says on the screen. Well, they won't get back. That'll be that, with 36 needed